1913 with Oklahoma roots and nationwide reach.
Are you worried about what might be lurking in your walls? Hi, this is Reese with Cavens Group, experts in mold and asbestos detection. For a limited time, get our comprehensive inspection and rest easy knowing your family's safety comes first. Our certified professionals use state-of-the-art technology to uncover hidden dangers and give you peace of mind. Don't wait for problems to get worse. Call Cavens Group today or visit cavensgroup.com and breathe easier tomorrow. Cavens Group, you don't need us until you need us.
Just about time for first pitch. Welcome back to Kemry Family Stadium. In for Toby Rowland tonight, I'm Chad McKee alongside Josh Helmer. In fact, Toby is just across the street. He's at the Lloyd Noble Center as Sooner basketball is hosting Missouri tonight. Porter Moser's guys have been hot here recently, trying to continue that against Missouri. Sooner softball is down in Denton, Texas, taking on North Texas. They just started as well. We'll keep you up to date as we breeze through our game here tonight. A look at the starting lineup. First off for the Patriots of Dallas Baptist, second baseman Keaton Grady bats in the leadoff spot, followed by the designated hitter Jake Bennett. Yes, another Jake Bennett. This one is a DBU Patriot. Right fielder is Ryan Martin. He's in the 3 spot, followed by the left fielder Ben Tryon, and then the first baseman Chayton Krause. The shortstop is Dylan Cupp. He'll bat 6th. He's followed by the center fielder Landon Underhill, and then the catcher Adam Bergholt. And batting 9th will be the third baseman Cooper Neville. And for the Sooners in the leadoff spot is third baseman Camden Johnson, followed by catcher Brendan Brock, then first baseman Dayton LaChance. Shortstop Jackson Willits, as always, is in the cleanup spot tonight. He'll be followed by the left fielder Trey Gamble. The DH is Drew Dickerson. He will bat 6th, followed by right fielder Nolan Stevens, then the center fielder Jason Walk, and batting 9th and playing second base will be Kyle Branch. Left-hander Jaden Barfield is on the mound. The Sooners wearing the crisp white uniforms with the Crimson Sooners across the chest and the Crimson numerals as well. Jaden Barfield, 4 starts last year, was very good, been mainly a bullpen guy as he's been in his previous 2 outings this season. He got roughed up a little bit a week ago against Arizona State. What's critical for Jaden Barfield tonight, Josh?
I think just throw strikes. That's what Skip told us. Just trust your stuff, throw strikes, and let your defense go make plays for you. Be the 3.54 ERA guy you were a season ago.
Sooner defense behind him. .969 fielding percentage, 8 double plays. They've committed 12 errors on the season. And we are ready to go on a beautiful but humid Tuesday night at Camry Family Stadium. In from the right side is the second baseman Keaton Grady, and the first pitch from Jaden Barfield is a little bit too tall. The defense behind Barfield, his battery mate is Brendan Brock. Down at third base is Camden Johnson. Jackson Willits, the shortstop. Kyle Branch plays second base, and Dayton LaChance is down the line at first. The left-hander works out of the stretch full time. And this pitch is swung on and popped up foul over near the Sooner dugout and just over the top of the back screen. I mean, by 6 inches, it went over the top of the back screen and landed foul in the first row of the bleachers. Sooner outfield has Trey Gamble in left. Jason Walk is the center fielder, and Nolan Stevens is in right field. Maybe shaded a little bit toward right center is the center fielder, Jason Walk. Just past 6:30, we are underway. And a 1-1 pitch coming to Keaton Grady. There's a fastball, low 90s for a strike. Very veteran lineup for the Patriots. Grady's a redshirt senior from Elgin, Texas, transferred in from Incarnate Word, and he's been hot lately. 2 hits or more in 3 of his last 4 games, and he hits this one foul over on the first base side, out of play as well. DBU is 8-4. 3 of those losses coming to UTSA, but they had a good weekend, a 3-1 weekend last week with 2 walk-off wins. They had a 5-homer game against Air Force on Sunday. 2-2 pitch, foul tip that's hung onto by the catcher Brendan Brock. A strikeout to start there for Jaden Barfield, 1 down with the bases empty.
And that has to feel so good to start that way. Didn't retire anybody he faced, Chad, against Arizona State last outing. It was a nightmarish outing, so that's get him off the blocks positively right there.
Here is the DH, Jake Bennett, 6'2 junior from Louisville, Kentucky. His second season at DBU. Barfield's first pitch to the right-handed batter is a little bit low. Last year batted .276 with 12 home runs. Did Jake Bennett. This year batting .326, 6 home runs already. Swings and pops this one up on the infield. Shortstop Jackson Willits, midway between the pitcher's mound and second base, makes the catch, 2 down. So Jake Bennett is retired. That's a big out to get for Jaden Barfield. Bases are clear and 2 men out. And the right fielder Ryan Martin will be the batter for DBU.
We touched on it in pregame, but there's a lot of power up and down this DBU lineup. And as you mentioned, Jake Bennett, part of that.
Martin also a right-handed batter. First pitch strike from Barfield. Ryan Martin is a redshirt junior from Marietta, Georgia. He was a Division I JUCO All-American last year at Georgia Highlands College. 43 home runs in 2 years there. This pitch is also in there for a strike. Fastball on the outer half. A little bit like the 2 Sooner catchers, Dayton LaChance and Brendan Brock, both junior college All-Americans last year as well. 0-2. Base is empty, 2 down. No score, top of the first. Barfield readies and releases. Blown away. Hit a ball and 2 strikes. Ryan Martin has reached base safely in all 12 games so far for DBU. The next one is downstairs. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Couldn't get him to chase low and away, and that time just downstairs, and a good eye from Martin to bring the count back even.
Barfield ready with a 2-2 pitch. Little bit up and in, and now full count from 0-2 to 3-2 on Ryan Martin. Barfield really, this year the issues are with walks. Last year he struck out 21 and walked only 10. This year 4 walks and 1 strikeout coming in. 3-2 pitch, threw it past him, swinging. So 2 strikeouts in the inning for the sophomore lefty Jaden Barfield, and no score headed to the bottom of the first inning in Norman. This is Sooner baseball from Learfield.
The Whataburger Monterey Melt is back? You've got some nerve showing up here again, looking all delicious with your fresh all-beef patties, melty cheeses, grilled peppers and onions, and jalapeno ranch. When I want you, you're nowhere to be found. And now you're back? Aw, get in here. We just missed you, that's all. The Whataburger Monterey Melt is back for a limited time and harder to resist than ever. Download the app. What a burger!
At Toyota, we don't just build trucks. We build something that's meant to last. That's why the 2026 Tundra is built to tough it out and to take it easy. Built to carry tradition and to make new ones. Built stronger, built louder, built here. The 2026 Toyota Tundra. Built in Texas, driven everywhere. Test drive at your local Toyota dealer or visit Toyota.com today. Toyota, let's go places. Feature availability differs based on trim. See Toyota.com for details.
Mike Rowe here with another random fact. Those cracks on your walls aren't just cosmetic. They could mean your home is sinking. Whether it's drywall cracks, exterior cracks, or sticking doors or windows, do yourself a favor. Call Groundworks. I spent some time working with these guys, and they're the real deal. Their people are trained and certified to stabilize your foundation.
Groundworks, the preferred foundation repair company of the Sooners. Schedule a free inspection.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Tonight's game broadcast is brought to you by the OU Community Cornerstone Partners, Fowler Auto Group, OG&E, OU Health, and Coca-Cola. University of Oklahoma Athletics, one with you. We've got no score. Headed to the bottom of the first inning. Sooners coming to the plate for the first time tonight. Camden Johnson, Brendan Brock, and Dayton LaChance set to dig in against Liam Watt, left-hander who's been the best arm on staff so far for DBU this year. But he is making his first start. His prior 6 appearances have come out of the bullpen. 1.04 ERA certainly gets your attention. But this is his first start as a Patriot, his second season at DBU. It's a lefty-lefty matchup with the Sooner third baseman Camden Johnson in. First pitch, bottom of the first, and it's a little bit inside. What a start Camden Johnson is off to. 21 runs scored, leads the SEC, and is second in the country. One of those runs was an inside-the-park home run against Gonzaga on Saturday. 1-0 is also inside. 2 balls and no strikes. Camden Johnson transferred in from Wichita State, spent 2 seasons there. Can really run. 12 stolen bases is also third nationally. The 2-0 whacked a towering foul ball that's down the left field line and out of play, sending it to 2-1. But to steal bases, you got to get on base, and he's done a lot of that so far. Camden Johnson batting .361, 2 home runs, 8 runs driven in, and as I said, 21 runs scored. Fans are still kind of matriculating in. They've brought the sweatshirts with them. It was nice and warm in Norman this afternoon as the 2-1 pitch is pulled toward the DBU dugout over on the first base side. That'll send it to 2-2. But we had that rain shower come through about an hour and 15 minutes prior to first pitch. And it's not dropped 20 degrees or anything crazy like that, but it's certainly cooler. And the wind has shifted to kind of a northeasterly breeze. The 2-2 shot to left center field, ranging back. Ben Tryon, the left fielder, and he reaches it about 2 steps shy of the warning track, moving to his left. Pretty good punch put into it by Camden Johnson toward the gap out there, but Tryon was able to chase it down for the first out.
Nice little swing on it and a good opening at bat for Oklahoma. Just hung up for Ben Tryon in that left center area.
Here's the catcher, Brendan Brock, in from the right side. And Watt deals him low and away. Swing and a miss, though. And so strike 1 on Brendan Brock. 3 home runs in his last 4 games for the junior college transfer. Leading home run hitter for the Sooners. 0-1 pitch is also low and away.
Said it was a no-brainer when Oklahoma came calling. Dad was an OU fan growing up.
Just fits with the offensive style of Reggie Willits and Skip Johnson as the 1-1 pitch misses up and away. 2 balls and a strike. Big guy who can hit and run. I don't know whose style that doesn't fit into, though. But the key is Brendan Brock felt like it would be a great fit, and it certainly has been. As the 2-1 pitch is down and away, 3 balls and a strike. And he has split time, playing a little first base with Dayton LaChance. They are alternating first base and catching. You'll see Dayton Taki in there, and one of the 3 of them DHing from time to time. Taki not in the lineup tonight as this pitch is whacked foul and out of play over toward the Lloyd Noble Center. And the count is 3-2 on Brendan Brock. The 3-2. Strike 3 called. He was trying to buy the call. He took off toward first base, but looked like a pretty good pitch there. And that's out number 2 as Watt strikes out Brendan Brock.
Just froze him for strike 3 right there. Good pitch.
So 2 down, bases clear, and the batter will be Dayton LaChance, the Sooner first baseman. Dayton LaChance has driven in 13 runs in 12 games, and that's without a home run so far. As the first pitch is in there from Liam Watt, and you expect the home runs will come. Last year at McLennan Community College, where he was playing for Skip Johnson's son Tyler, who is now on the DBU staff. Dayton LaChance hit 21 home runs and drove in 104 runs. He swings and misses here, and he's down 0-2 against Liam Watt. Bases are empty, 2 down, no score in the bottom of the first. Watt's 0-2. Off the end of the bat, bounded toward third, cut off by Cooper Neville. Throw to first a little bit high, but Jayton Krause comes down on the bag for out number 3, and the inning is over. No score headed to the second between 12th ranked Oklahoma and Dallas Baptist. This is Sooner Baseball from Learfield.
Good times are calling your name at the Showplace Theater with acts like Chicago, March 13th. Randy Houser, March 21st. And Nate Smith, March 27th. weekend is OKC's favorite casino experience.
What a matchup we've got, folks. Just nonstop action. The energy is electric and the fans are all in. An intense game like this calls for a Coca-Cola. Ah, crisp and refreshing. That's a game changer. Yeah, that taste scores every time. And just like that, they're back at it. Passionate fans and an ice-cold Coca-Cola. Now that's a winning combo. No matter the team, no matter the sport, everyone knows fan work is thirsty work. Enjoy a Coca-Cola.
Used Ford trucks. We have more because we give you more for your trade at Bob Moore Ford. In fact, we have over 30 used trucks in stock right now. F-150s, F-250s, F-350s, whatever you're looking for. We have the used Ford truck for you. Choose from XLTs, Lariats, King Ranches, and Platinums. Get the used Ford truck you want at the affordable price you need. Only at Bob Moore Ford at I-35 and Southeast 89th Street or online at bobmooreford.com.
Located just minutes from the OU campus, Courtyard Norman offers affordable, stylish accommodations with tech-forward amenities and classic Southern hospitality. Book your stay today at Marriott.com/OKCNO. Josh Helmer, Chad McKee, back with you in Norman from Kimry Family Stadium. 1-2-3 first for Jaden Barfield, and it's right off to the bullpen.
Yeah, kind of a get back on track type of one inning for Jaden Barfield. He punched out 2 DBU hitters. And so to the bullpen for Isaac Williams, who's had a couple of good appearances in his first time in a Sooner uniform. Junior, 6'1", 200 pounds. He's from Fleming Island, Florida. Spent last season at UCF, so he has transferred from Orlando to Norman, and he's ready to go to work. The right-hander looks like he's completed his warm-up tosses. We've seen him a couple of times, went an inning scoreless against New Mexico State in a game that followed Oklahoma's appearance down in Arlington. And Josh, that was a game that you broadcast. And then also Coppin State, not this past weekend, but the weekend before that, he went an inning and a third scoreless. So he's only given up a couple of hits and nothing in the runs category in his 2 outings as a Sooner.
4 strikeouts has been impressive, and in that New Mexico State game, outs were at times tough to come by, so he was a stabilizing force that night.
He will face Ben Tryon, the left fielder. Tryon, Kraus, and Cup, middle third of the lineup. And his first pitch is in there for a called strike. Sooner pitching changes are presented by Serta Pro Painters. If you're looking to make a change at your home, the pros at Serta Pro Painters can help with 15% off your interior or exterior project by calling 405-990-8521. This one hit on one hop to the second baseman. Branch moving to his left, easily squeezes it and throws out Ben Tryon. 1 away, bases cleared. Again, we've got no score here in the top of the second inning. These old rivals, they get together once or twice a year. It seems like there's not another scheduled game between these two teams this year. Sooners get busy with SEC play, and DBU will go into conference play. Their Conference USA play. They're going to be moving to the Pac-12 starting next year. As this pitch is over the outside half to Chayton Kraus. This is the 47th all-time meeting. Oklahoma has a 6-game advantage in the series. 1 ball, no strikes here to Kraus. Swing and a miss as he swung through a fastball that was a little bit elevated. Chayton Kraus is a senior out of Coppell, Texas. Grayson County Community College, preseason Conference USA Player of the Year. 2-time first-team all-conference already. And the 1-1 missed outside. Kraus hit a grand slam against Air Force and had 4 hits, 2 home runs in that game on Sunday. A slugfest. Right-hander to right-hander. And the 2-1 in there from Williams to Kraus, who kind of turns his head sideways and looks back, but Sean Arthur said strike 2.
Kraus had a couple of home runs against OU in that first contest last year as well.
Sooners have shifted around with 3 infielders on the third base side as they have shifted Branch over more into a traditional shortstop spot. And then Willits is kind of in the hole there with Camden Johnson closer to the bag at third. Lone infielder on the right side is Dayton LaChance. Here's a payoff pitch. Swing and a miss. That's 3 strikeouts for Sooner pitching. Isaac Williams, fans Jayden Krause for the second out in the second inning.
And another big out to get. Again, Krause homered a couple of times in that first meeting against Dallas Baptist last season. Drove in 6 runs, so a big punch out for Oklahoma.
Here's the shortstop, Dylan Cupp, in from the right side. Out of the stretch full time is Isaac Williams, even though there's nobody on base. And he whips a fastball low and away to Dylan Cupp. Dylan Cupp is out of Cedartown, Georgia. 1-0 pitch. Also outside, so 2-0. He's a transfer from Mississippi State, where he was a teammate last year with OU's Nolan Stevens. It's his first year at Dallas Baptist. 52 games at Mississippi State each of the last 2 years. And he's a former Gatorade State High School Player of the Year. The 2-0 pitch to him. Over the inner half, fastball 95 from Isaac Williams.
Yeah, Williams can shove a little bit, Chad.
I'm telling you, you come out of the bullpen in college baseball, you better be able to throw 95 or just don't bother opening the bullpen door. 2-1, lifted foul and out of play over on the first base side, so the count squares up at 2-2. Bases empty, 2 down with no score in the top of the second. Oklahoma and Dallas Baptist. Fun to see these two get together in the midweek. The 2-2 got away from him. Up and in. Up around the hard hat of Dylan Cupp. And the count goes full. Good to see the fans out here. Really, this is like the first night baseball game that we've had at Kemry Family Stadium this year. Had some afternoon games that kind of moved into the early evening hours. 3-2 pitches swung on and missed. Back-to-back strikeouts to end the second for Isaac Williams out of the bullpen. Sooner pitching, retiring the first 6 Patriot hitters. And we're scoreless, headed to the bottom of the second inning in Norman. This is Sooner Baseball from Learfield.
Oklahoma, Joseph Dabrowski, General Manager at Seth Wadley Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Pauls Valley. We know times can get stressful. At Seth Wadley Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram in Pauls Valley, we're here to make it count. That's why we're giving more money for your trade and giving way more than market value. Whether you need a Ram heavy duty, crew cab and chassis, new Jeep Wranglers, Grand Cherokees, Gladiators, Ram 1500s, 2500s, and even 3500s, we have millions in inventory for you to choose from in all sizes and all trims. And always get America's best full-size truck powertrain warranty of 10 years and 100,000 miles. Oh, and if you have any challenges, just ask for me, Joseph Dabrowski, General Manager, to help your visit be one of the best you'll have anywhere. And you'll keep getting savings with Seth spending over $24 million and counting on a promise. Tell him, Seth.
That's my promise of oil changes and engines for life on new or used gas or diesel at no additional cost to you.
So get to the store with more at Seth Wadley Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram on I-35 exit 72 in Pauls Valley, or click SethWadleyDodge.com.
Now is the perfect time to kickstart your active lifestyle at the Carlstone, 55-plus independent living community. Carlstone Adult Living Community offers a plethora of all-inclusive amenities such as restaurant-style meals, utilities, a storm shelter, elevator, fitness classes, movie room, and a pet-friendly environment. Give them a call today, 405-358-4445, or go online to thecarlstone.com and learn more about our luxury amenities today. Your new home awaits at the Carlstone in Norman.
Get your kids into the game and behind the scenes by joining the OG&E Sooner Kids Club today, presented in part by Orthodontics Exclusively and Devon Energy. Sooner Kids Club delivers exclusive behind-the-scenes access, year-round ticket offers, Sooners gear, and more. Learn more and join today at Soonersports.com/Kids Club. Leading things off for the Sooners here in the second, Jackson Willits swinging at the first pitch from Liam Watt, and he comes up empty. 0-1. Left-hander to right-hander. This one popped up, hit foul and out of play over toward the seats on the first base side, and it lands on the hill. Rolls on down there. So 0-2 to Jackson Willits. Off to a good start. Had an RBI in each of his first 10 games. 5 multi-RBI games. And he already has 2 walk-off hits this year. Lines this one down the right field line and foul toward what used to be the visitors' bullpen here at Kemry Family Stadium. Jackson Willits, a walk-off bottom of the 9th double. Going to come from behind win over Arizona State last Wednesday night. Oh, 2 pitch is upstairs. Jackson's younger brother Eli, the #1 overall pick in the Major League Baseball amateur draft last summer. Spring training with the Nationals. The 1-2 pitch in the air toward right field. Ryan Martin had a look at it, now gently drifting to his left, then a little back to his right. Wasn't completely certain about that one, but he squeezes it for the first out in the bottom of the second inning. That will bring in the left fielder for the Sooners, Trey Gamble. Don't believe I fully have set the DBU defense. Shame on me. Let me get to that here in just a moment as Gamble stands in for a lefty-lefty matchup. First pitch a little bit downstairs. Adam Bergholt is the catcher. Cooper Neville down at third. Dylan Cupp, the shortstop. Keaton Grady is at second base. And Chayton Krause, the first baseman. Ben Tryon, Landon Underhill, Ryan Martin from left to right out in the outfield. And Trey Gamble takes ball 2 a little bit inside. 2-0 to a guy who is just great at drawing walks. He's hit 3 home runs, driven in 14 with a .385 batting average. Leads the Sooners in hitting and pulls this one to the right side. Out into the shallow right field grass to pick it up. The second baseman, Keaton Grady, flips it over to first for the second out. Bases are clear. Nobody on and no score in the bottom of the second. And the batter will be the DH, Drew Dickerson. Drew batting at .316. Left-hander to right-hander. And the first pitch is over but low from Liam Watt. We will, as you said, Josh, see how far Liam Watt goes tonight. Making his first start in a DBU uniform. 1-0 pitch hit hard under the glove of the third baseman, Cooper Neville. That is headed toward the wall. In fact, it rolls all the way to the wall in straightaway left, where Ben Tryon, the left fielder, picks it up. But that is a scalded double on the ground off the bat of Drew Dickerson, who has the first hit for either team tonight.
Sharply toward third base, and nothing Neville could do. A 2-bagger standing.
So Drew Dickerson in immediate scoring position with 2 down. That is double number 2 for Drew. And an RBI chance here for the Sooner right fielder Nolan Stevens. Watt had retired the first 5 Sooner batters that he had faced. There's an off-speed pitch, and he just brings it in over the inner half. In this lefty-lefty matchup, Nolan Stevens was just kind of sitting on it all the way. 0-1 the count. Stevens has a look at another one. That one was a fastball. And strike 2 called. So quickly 0-2 to Stevens. Nolan, .348 hitter. Hit 2 home runs last week. One against Arizona State 1 week ago tonight, in fact. It was his first Oklahoma homer. Down in the count 0-2 here, though. And pulls this one foul. Keeps the at-bat alive. It is $2 takeover night here at the ballpark. $2 sodas and certain concessions that you can take advantage of. Hot dogs.
Beer, popcorn, I think.
I hope so, because we've advertised it. 0-2 on Stevens. Watt deals. Hard hit ground ball, but right at the shortstop, Dylan Cupp. His throw to first is in time, and the inning is over. So a 2-out double by Dickerson. He's left stranded, though. We've played 2 as the 12th-ranked Sooners and the DBU Patriots are scoreless. This is Sooner Baseball from Learfield.
Looking for your next place to call home? Keystone Property Management in Oklahoma City has beautiful 3-bedroom, 2.5-bath townhomes at Edmond Town Center, located at the corner of Kelly and Danforth in the heart of Edmond. Plus, we offer spacious single-family homes throughout Oklahoma City and Edmond with options that fit your size, style, and budget. Find the perfect home for your family. Call Drew England at 405-368-1836 or visit us online at KeystonePMOK.com. Keystone Property Management, your key to better living.
Flu season is here, and getting sick was never in your game plan. When you're sidelined by illness, don't wait on a doctor's appointment and don't waste a trip to the ER. Get back in the lineup fast with same-day care from Norman Regional. With urgent care and walk-in clinics across Moore and Norman, they're always ready to make the right call. Already a Norman Regional patient? They've got your records on hand to draft up the winning play right when you need it. Find the clinic nearest to you at normanregional.com or dial 405-515-5000. Norman Regional Urgent Care and Walk-in Clinics, open when you need it.
I'm Gina Mitchell of Mitchell's Jewelry. Our showroom is home to classic favorites like diamond earrings and pearl strands, plus cool watches from Michelle and Shinola, and cases full of the latest trends. We are known for our engagement rings and love giving our customers every option, straight from our cases or in their very own custom design, with natural diamonds, lab-grown diamonds, or colored gemstones. Shop with us in-store or shop our website or Instagram. Mitchell's Jewelry in the heart of Norman at 2201 West Main Street.
You're listening to the home of Sooner fans, KREF, Norman, Oklahoma, and streaming live on the KREF app.
The Ref Sports Radio Network.
Alongside Josh Helmer, I'm Chad McKee in for Toby Rowland tonight. Toby is across the street calling Sooner basketball with Kevin Henry on the Sooner Radio Network. They are ahead of Missouri at halftime. Last I looked up, it was a 9-point lead. I think that's how it went to the half. We are scoreless here at Kimry Family Stadium. Lower third of the order for the Patriots of Dallas Baptist, set to stroll to the plate against another Sooner pitcher, and that is Xander Mercurius. Going to see Xander here tonight, the younger brother of LJ, who has been fantastic this year. So Xander Mercurius, just a freshman. He's also out of Las Vegas, Durango High School. LJ had a couple of years collegiately at UNLV before they both came to Norman. LJ is a transfer, Xander is a true freshman. He goes to work against Landon Underhill, left-handed hitter, and misses wide. Another Serta Pro Painters pitching change. The professionals at Serta Pro Painters can help with your next project. Get 15% off when you call 405-990-8521 and let Robert and Jonathan take care of you. 1-0 is whacked at and missed. It was kind of low and in, and Underhill couldn't hold up. 1-1 the count on Landon Underhill. Third appearance for Xander Mercurius. 1-1 pitch, fastball. He went around 97 miles per hour on that fastball. And I think Underhill was ready to tune it up, but midway through realized, hey, that thing, I'm not catching up with that. And so the count is 1-2. They did appeal to Seth Buckminster, the third base umpire, with the left-handed batter at the plate. Here's the 1-2. Bounces away from the catcher, Brendan Brock. The count evens. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And Oklahoma has him shifted here, expecting him to pull it on over to that pull side.
An inning and 2/3 of work so far. 1 run given by Xander Mercurius this year. 2-2 the count on Underhill, who hits this one foul, slices it out of play over on the third base side. As Josh alluded to, 3 infielders over on the first base side of second base. Willits, the shortstop, is just off the bag and out in very shallow center field. And then the second baseman, Kyle Branch, he is probably 15 feet out into the right field turf. As this pitch is down and in. And I think Underhill's trying to say it may have hit him. Dan Hefner's going to walk out of the DBU dugout. No indication that that ball hit him from the plate umpire, Sean Arthur. He didn't call the ball dead. He didn't say it hit him. And they may have a look at this one. I think they will. Seth Buckminster, the third base umpire, and Sean Arthur get together now. And their compadres join in. DBU is challenging, saying that it was a hit by pitch, and we have our first McIntyre Law official review. Connect with McIntyre Law's team of award-winning Oklahoma personal injury attorneys. Couldn't tell, certainly. And
you want to take another look at it here?
Yeah, we've got Josh is good with replay. In fact, you may be as good as the actual replay system, Josh.
I don't know about that.
We're having another look at it. It's impossible to tell. I mean, that's a 95-mile-an-hour fastball.
If it hit him, it was right on that kneecap. It just skimmed past it. And they're showing the replay, or about to, it looks like, frame by frame in stadium here.
I saw no indication from Sean Arthur, the plate umpire. And it wasn't a reaction from Underhill. A lot of times guys get hit or try to buy the hit by pitch call. They react more, I guess you would say, forcefully. He did not. He just kind of walked out of the box, looked over at the dugout, and pointed to his leg. Not that that's an indicator. In the meantime, Xander Mercurius continues to stay loose. We'll remind you that whether Brahms is your stop for burger and ice cream or your weekly trip for groceries from the Fresh Market, Brahms is proud to be part of your family's tradition. Brahms, farm fresh for over 50 years and proud partner of OU Athletics. And we encourage you to stop by the Sooner Shop. It's the best place to gear up for game day. The Sooner Shop is the official fan shop of OU Athletics, located on the west side of Gaylord Family Oklahoma Memorial Stadium. Online shopping is also always available at shop.soonersports.com. I believe it wound up being Josh Perez, the first base umpire, and Seth Buckminster, the third base umpire, who went to have a look at it. And once again, they look at the replays just past the Sooner dugout over on the first base side. There's a camera well back there and the equipment for the video reviews. We do not have the full review capabilities. We will, once we get into conference play, we'll be able to bring you all the necessary angles. But tonight, we do not have them.
I just would have to think, Chad, that'll be hard to overturn.
Yeah.
It didn't look like it was clear and conclusive. It was very close, and it very well might have skimmed that kneecap, but I just going to review and thinking that you have the clear angle, I think is going to be tough.
Could not see a change in the trajectory of the ball as it came past. We have a decision to be rendered here.
Well, there you go.
It's a hit by pitch. So Landon Underhill will take first base on a hit by pitch. Leadoff man reaches in the third. Landon Underhill is the first base runner of the night for the Patriots. That brings in the catcher Adam Bergholt, right-handed batter. So out of the stretch is Xander Mercurius. First pitch downstairs.
Let's see how he responds to some early traffic now.
1-0 pitch in there. 93-mile-an-hour fastball for a called strike to Adam Bergholt. Adam Bergholt, a senior from Edna, Minnesota, transferred from Iowa Area Community College. Hit 7 home runs last year. Didn't play all the time. 1-1 pitch. He is a little bit low and away. He platooned at catcher with Grant Jay, who was an All-American. And that took a little wear and tear off the knees of Jay, and also let Jay play in the outfield a little bit more. 2-1 the count. In the air, foul. Out of play over the first base side, and the count squares at 2-2. This year, 2 home runs, 9 driven in, and a .367 batting average for Adam Bergholt. No score in the top of the third. The Sooners have the lone hit. The Patriots have their first base runner of the night with a hit by pitch to start the third. This one is hit well down the right field line. Fading foul. Long run over there to the former visitors' bullpen, and it's out of play. So the count stays 2-2 on Bergholt. Put a good swing on that one. Activity continues to just buzz about in the Sooner bullpen down the left field line. Bullpen situation, Oklahoma is back down the left field line as of this past weekend. 2-2 pitch. Breaking pitch is lined to right. Over to get it, Nolan Stevens plays it on a backhanded hop and rifles it back in. But a threat brewing here for the Patriots in the third. Underhill hit by pitch. And Adam Bergholt, the catcher, has the first Patriots hit of the night. A single into right field.
This bottom third of the order getting something cooking.
Nobody out. No score. Top of the third, and Cooper Neville, the number 9 batting third baseman, climbs in from the left side of the plate. Sooners bring the first baseman Dayton LeChance inside onto the grass. Third baseman Camden Johnson is about even, and Mercurius turns and just kind of lofts one out to the shortstop, Jackson Willits. Just getting the attention of Landon Underhill out there. Cooper Neville digs in. Left-handed hitter lays his bat on his back shoulder. Now squares and shows bunt as Mercurius comes set, and it's bunted foul. Popped it back to the back screen. Cooper Neville is a junior from Glendale, Arizona. Honorable mention All-American at Iowa Western after beginning his collegiate career at Grand Canyon University 2 years ago. So this is his third stop. Shows bunt, takes the pitch, and Mercurius just rifles a 93-mile-an-hour fastball on the inner half. It's 0-2 on Cooper Neville. We'll see what the play is here. Runners at first and second with nobody out. Perfect sacrifice opportunity, but Neville hasn't gotten the job done yet. Xander Mercurius is set. Swung on and popped up to left field. Gamble jogs over near the line into foul ground, and he makes the catch for the first out. Runners have to hustle back in. So Neville wanted to bunt, but with 2 strikes decided to swing away, or was instructed to swing away, and he pops up in foul ground to the Sooner left fielder Trey Gamble.
And now ground ball, tailor-made, get you out of this mess.
See the Sooner catcher Brendan Brock out to signal defensive assignment to the infielders. Leadoff man Keaton Grady is in. He struck out against Jaden Barfield to start the game. Facing Xander Mercurius, and he was looking for that fastball, and Xander threw him a breaking pitch. He swung over the top and missed. 0-1.
Yeah, he's been up at 97, and that, the off speed at 81 is tough to deal with.
Right-hander to left-hander here with an 0-1 count. And the next one is a little bit low. That was a fastball from Xander Mercurius. Landon Underhill was hit by a pitch to start the inning. Adam Bergholt followed him with a single. They are at second and first respectively with 1 away. We got no score here in the third. Mercurius tried another breaking pitch, but it stayed a little bit outside. And it's 2-1 to Keaton Grady. Keaton Grady was first team All-Conference USA last year. Batted .366. 2-1 pitch, fouled back. There's another fastball. A little bit tardy on it was Keaton Grady. And so it is 2-2 to the DBU second baseman. Not holding against Bergholt at first base. LaChance plays behind him. The 2-2 pitch to Keaton Grady. Swing and a miss. Fastball 94, tailing away just a bit from the left-handed hitter. And that's out number 2. That is now 5 strikeouts for Sooner pitching in 10 batters faced so far tonight.
From 3 different arms.
So 2 gone, runners at first and second. And the batter is Jake Bennett, the DH. He popped up to the Sooner shortstop Jackson Willits his first time. Big-time home run pop, 6 of them already. And after the first pitch, fastball, but comes up empty. It's 0-1. Bennett batting .319. Xander Mercurius ready with an 0-1. Tried to dot that outside paint, but missed a little bit outside with a fastball.
Looked like he was telling Brendan Brock, hey, that's on me. I just missed the spot a little bit.
Mercurius looks out at the runner. Pretty good lead out there for Underhill. This one is swung on and hit foul as it flies out of play down the right field line. We'll do it all over again. Runners were moving on the pitch that time. Count 1-2. Good action early in this game. DBU had the first two batters reach safely. Xander Mercurius trying to get out of it with no harm done. Jake Bennett, same name as the former Sooner, who is now with the Red Sox, the pitcher. Break and pitch, and that's a little bit outside. Yeah, Jake Bennett, Skip Johnson was talking about Jake Bennett in the pregame. He said they have not had a real midweek starter, the Sooners, since Jake Bennett before COVID. That's been a minute. This is a Johnny Holstaff kind of night for the Sooners. Third pitcher already in the third inning. And a curveball, he checked his swing and fouled it up the first base side. So Xander Mercurius had him fooled. The count will stay 2-2.
Skip had said it's just the way these guys grow up playing baseball now. They a couple of innings and they're done.
And you would like to have a freshman, ideally, that comes in, pitches the midweek games, maybe a little bit on the weekends, and you just build him into a weekend starter the next couple of years. Not the way it always works, though. 2-2 pitch. Just a little upstairs with a fastball, and now we got action. They'll start the merry-go-round. 3-2, 2 down. No score in the top of the third. And the payoff coming to the dangerous Jake Bennett. There go the runners. Ground ball to short. Up with it, Willits only play his first, and he makes the peg easily. So Xander Mercurius hit a batter, gave up a single, but got the next three men unscathed. And we remain scoreless. For DBU, it's no runs on a hit, no errors, and 2 men left. We go to the bottom of the third in Norman. No score between Oklahoma and Dallas Baptist. This is Sooner Baseball from Learfield.
At Fowler Toyota Tulsa, finding the right vehicle has never been easier. With a great selection of new and certified pre-owned vehicles, you can shop your way, online or in-store. Our team is here to make sure you get exactly what you need, with competitive pricing, extended warranties, and exceptional service. Visit Fowler Toyota Tulsa today, where your perfect ride is waiting. Hey Sooner fans, want to make the most of not only your game day but every day? Norman Parks and Recreation has got you covered. With 68 beautiful parks all over Norman, there's always a place to have fun or connect with nature. Swim or shoot hoops at the Young Family Athletic Center. Take a walk at Ruby Grant. Hang out with friends at the Adult Wellness Center or tee off at Westwood. And don't forget to make a splash at the Westwood Family Aquatic Center. Follow us on social at Norman OK Parks to explore all we have to offer. Norman Parks and Recreation, where Norman plays.
There's a big deal going on at Whataburger. Our new Big Ranch Wrap is just $3 with a crispy chicken strip, buttermilk ranch, cheese, and fresh veggies in a warm tortilla. Or for $4, go bigger with 5 premium Whata chicken bites. Or go bigger than big with a Bacon Cheese Whataburger Jr. with fresh 100% beef and melty cheese for just $5. Add fries and a drink for just $2.49. Now that's a big deal. The Whata Deal, now at What a Burger! For a limited time at participating locations. Download the app.
We'd like to thank our OU community outreach partners, Fowler Auto Group, OU Health, OG&E, and Coca-Cola. The University of Oklahoma Athletics, one with you.
No score as we hit the bottom of the third inning at Kimry Family Stadium. And the Patriots' Liam Watt back out to the mound to begin his third inning of work. He gave a double to Drew Dickerson, but left him stranded back in the second. Goes to work against Jason Walken. This is outside with the first pitch to the right-hand batting Sooner center fielder, who takes the next in there for a cold strike. 8-9-1 in the Sooner lineup, as Walk is followed by Kyle Branch and then Camden Johnson. And Liam Watt ready, working quickly. Deals, catches the outside edge, off-speed pitch there. 1-2 on Jay Walk. Jay Walk trying to get going. 179 the batting average. Driven in 2 runs. And the 1-2. Good take there. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Fastball missed outside. Liam Watt so far. He has struck out 1, given up the base hit, and no runs. 3-2 to Walk as that fastball is up and away. And with Jason Walk a walk can be like a double. Payoff pitch ready from Watt to the plate. Swing and a miss. Got him to chase one that was outside of the zone, tailing away from the right-handed batter. One gone. Second strikeout for the lefty, Liam Watt.
Liam Watt has been a bullpen arm. First start for him. He does have 6 career outings, longer than 3 innings, and his career-long outing was 5 a season ago.
ERA last year was 5.75. As you said, that was all out of the bullpen for the Patriots. He goes to work here against the Sooner second baseman and number 9 batter Kyle Branch. And the first pitch is in here. So Liam Watt transferred before last season from LSU Eunice, where he spent 2023 and 24 with former Oklahoma Sooner Dawson Willis. Wano signed as a free agent with the Padres. Dawson Willis, and they actually won a JUCO Division II national title there at LSU Eunice, and Dawson Willis was the defensive national player of the year there. There's a 1-1 pitch. It is outside to the Sooner second baseman Kyle Branch. Kyle a home run and 4 runs driven in. Oklahoma's top 10 win this year came over TCU, and Kyle Branch was front and center, homered and drove in 3 runs in that game down at Globe Life in Arlington. As this next pitch misses outside to Kyle Branch. 3-1. Wide in the pitch. Foul that one back. There's really no activity out in the DBU bullpen, just kind of some light stretching going on. They've got what appears to be a PVC pipe, and they're doing a little stretching out there. Maybe that would work for us, Josh, if we could borrow that PVC pipe, get nice and limber. As this pitch is hit foul, he slices it over the back screen and out of play on the first base side.
Need a little more room in the booth, and then we can really make use of it.
Yeah.
You've got that longer wingspan than yours, truly.
I just love being able to see into the bullpens. There's lots of activity that goes on in bullpens, more than just throwing, and now we can see it all. There's ball 4 low to Kyle Branch. The bullpen seems like a boring place, but if you would listen to the great stories that my former partner, the late, great George Frazier, Sooner College World Series participant 4 times, longtime big leaguer, the late George Frazier, who we miss, he would tell great stories about being a bullpen reliever. Leadoff man back up there, Camden Johnson taking the first pitch up and away. Sooners have their second base runner here. It's the first walk issued by Liam Watt tonight. Camden Johnson flied out to the left fielder Ben Tryon his first time. Kyle Branch can run. Edges away at first base, held on there by Chayton Krause. And the pitch over the outside corner, evening things at 1-1. Kyle Branch was perfect on stolen bases last year, 14 out of 14. And so far this year, he has not attempted one. The Patriots think that's about to change because they're throwing over. Camden Johnson off to a great start as a Sooner, as we said. Second nationally in runs scored with 21 of them. 1-1 hit foul and out of play. Hit an inside the park home run against Gonzaga Saturday. And asked him about it. He said all the cards kind of have to line up for that to happen. You got an outfielder that dives for a ball and misses. You got to have a great set of wheels and a third base coach with faith. The 1-2, base hit, turned on that one, drove it into right field. Branch is going to stop at second base as Ryan Martin gets it back up and in. And the Sooners knocking on the door here. Branch walks. Camden Johnson hit by pitch. Runners at first and second and 2 down.
And Branch just had to hold up just for a second to let that baseball go through.
Back to the inside the park home run. I said, when did you know that it was going to be an inside the parker? He said, when I saw Russell Raley waving me in from third. Then you just run like a thoroughbred in the home stretch. And he had the inside the parker. Liam Watt faces catcher Brendan Brock here. Brock struck out looking his first time. Sooners have their second man in scoring position tonight. Drew Dickerson doubled in the second and was left out there. 0-1. Hit foul, out of play over the first base side.
Well, that speaks to the great trust that you have with your third base coach over there, that if he's giving me the sin sign, I'm making it.
I'm in. And I was assuming that it was not his first ever inside the park home run. I was correct. This is well hit. Brendan Brock blasts one to left center field. Ranging over and nearly colliding with the left fielder Tryon is Underhill. And that one is caught by Tryon, the left fielder. A long, loud out off the bat of Brendan Brock, and well played out there. Good communication between Underhill and Tryon because they were both moving at full speed. That could have been dangerous.
That was a get you out of your seat swing when it left the bat, directed out toward the power alley, and I, like you, thought that maybe he had gotten all of it. Not quite.
So 2 down. Runners have to go back, and Dayton LaChance is the Sooner batter. And now Watt is going to use the inside leg move and throw back behind the runner, Kyle Branch, at second base. It is the second baseman, Keaton Grady, taking the throw. He is near the bag. The shortstop, Dylan Cupp, is pretty deep in the hole at that spot. First pitch, fastball outside to Dayton LaChance. Dayton grounded out to Cooper Neville, the third baseman. Sooners have no runs on 2 hits, no errors. Patriots no runs on a hit with no errors. And the next one is an off-speed pitch that darts through there for a cold strike. That'll even things at 1-1 to Dayton LaChance.
Mercurius found a way to navigate through some traffic, get that final out. See if Dallas Baptist can do the same, or if Oklahoma can find a timely 2-out hit.
Another throw out to second base to the second baseman, Keaton Grady. And Branch is back in safely. Dayton LaChance batting .351, no homers, 13 runs driven in. Feels like that first Sooner home run is going to come, and when it does, it may open the floodgates. And the 1-1 hits that one foul. Out of play on the first base side, just past our press box here at Kimry Family Stadium. Branch is the runner at second base. This one is hit well down the left field side, but foul. So it stays 1-2 on Dayton LaChance. They're not paying much attention to Camden Johnson over at first. He runs there. So if LaChance could put one in a gap somewhere, you could see Camden Johnson off to the races. 1-2 from Watt. Pulled, foul, just outside third. It'll stay 1-2. This game about an hour old. We're in the bottom of the third inning with no score.
Flirting with that third base bag, left field line.
Another 1-2 coming from Liam Watt. Pitch number 49 for the lefty. Back up the middle. It's a base hit to center field. The speedy Kyle Branch churning for home. He will be there. The throw cut off. Now it goes to second base. And the tag is applied to Dayton LaChance. He's out. That is the third out. So the Patriots cut the throw off. The Sooners do get the run as it crossed the plate well ahead of the out at second base. And Oklahoma is on the board. It's an RBI single by Dayton LaChance. But a man left on, a run on 2 hits for the Sooners, who carry a 1-0 lead to the top of the fourth inning here at Kimry Family Stadium. This is Sooner Baseball from Learfield.
Speaking of technology, did you know that RK Black is an authorized dealer for Kyocera copiers? And the Kyocera copiers aren't just copiers. They're smart devices that can scan, print, fax, and email your documents with ease and security. Even better, they're backed by RK Black's award-winning service team that is built on nearly 70 years of taking great care of our clients. Whether you need a desktop printer or a multifunction copier, RK Black has the right product for you. Let's get the conversation started. Give us a call at 943-9800 or visit us at rkblack.com.
Pub W in Norman isn't your average pub.
Think crispy fried deviled eggs, bold burgers, and local beers on tap. All in a chill space, perfect for watching the game or grabbing dinner with friends.
Located off of 24th Avenue, Pub W brings comfort food elevated. Pub W, your neighborhood pub. Tune in every Friday to hear more about the Hal Smith Restaurant Group during the Rush and the Dari Noka Show here on The Ref.
I know this sounds crazy, but at First Liberty Bank in Norman, we answer the phone. Yes, we're serious, and we provide personal face-to-face customer service when you need it. Go ahead and try it. Call us at 405-561-0300. We'll promptly answer the phone, and you'll hear us say, "Welcome to First Liberty Bank. How may I help you?" Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Bank like a champion today at First Liberty Bank.
Tonight's game broadcast is brought to you by our OU Community Cornerstone partners, Fowler Auto Group, OG&E, OU Health, and Coca-Cola. University of Oklahoma Athletics, one with you. And 4 innings, 4 pitchers for Skip Johnson and the Sooners tonight. That means we've got a CertaPro Painters pitching change. If you're looking to make a change at your home, the professionals at CertaPro Painters can help right now with 15% off your next painting project. Call 405-990-8521. Let Robert and Jonathan take care of you. Reed Hensley has taken care of things pretty well this year as a Sooner, and the right-hander is on out of the bullpen here, Josh.
Saw him a couple of times last week, and even in that opening game versus Arizona State that otherwise wasn't a ton of fun for Sooner fans, Reed Hensley's 2 2/3 innings of scoreless ball, that was a bright spot.
1-0 Sooners on top of the 4th inning. And Hensley set to face 3, 4, and 5 in the lineup here. Ryan Martin to lead things off. Right-hander versus right-hander against Reed Hensley. 2.94 ERA last year for Reed Hensley was very good. 23 appearances. Opponents only hit 205 against him. This one is swung on and hit high in the air down the left field line. It's in fair territory, about medium depth out there, and Trey Gamble jogs over. He was a little bit shaded toward left center field, but he runs it down easily out there for the first out. Ben Tryon will be the batter. Yeah, Reed Hensley, just reliable Reed, you almost say. A guy that I think Skip Johnson feels like he can throw any situation, any opponent, and he can get you some outs. Ben Tryon grounded out to second base his first time. Wind is coming from the north, would you say, Josh? I'm going to look at the official weather app to get the exact direction. 1-0 pitch. I say that in shock because it is such a rarity this time of the year to have anything but a south or southwest wind.
Yeah, that southwest wind is a staple, and it's kind of been swirling around on us a little bit ever since that brief set of showers came through here.
2-0 pitch in there. Strike, fastball over the outer half. So they got 68 degrees. And the wind is out of the due north at 6 miles per hour. The next one is down and in to Ben Tryon. So 3-1 to the DBU left fielder. Tryon, a .362 hitter, 3 home runs, 11 runs driven in. And there's a fastball on the outer half. Count is all full to Ben Tryon. Junior out of Southlake, Texas, Southlake Carroll High School. 3-2 pitch. Low and inside. That is the first walk issued by Sooner pitching. Xander Mercurius did hit one batter. And so it's a 1-out free pass to Tryon that brings in the first baseman, Chayton Krause. Third base runner of the game for the Patriots. Krause, dangerous guy. 4 home runs, 15 runs driven in. And Hensley's first pitch is over but low for a ball. Reed Hensley spent 2021 at Incarnate Word then went to Tyler Junior College in 2023. And now in his second season as a Sooner, his 1-0 pitch is down the right field line and foul. You know, there's so much talk, and maybe all the talk is about the transfer portal when it comes to recruiting. Certainly a lot of it is, but one thing that's really nice about it is a guy like Reed Hensley, incarnate word, a good year or two, then a junior college, and then you can wind up at this level, as he has.
And such a valuable piece of that bullpen for Oklahoma. He's an older guy, graduate student now, someone that Skip and his staff really trusts.
1-2, the count on Chayton Krause. Hensley kind of looking over, back at the runner. Ben Tryon, 1-2 pitch is breaking pitch that misses low and away. Chayton Krause has had quite the baseball journey. He has seen some of the world as a baseball player. 2-2 pitches up and in. Played for New Zealand in the 2022 World Baseball Classic and also played in the Little League World Series for Lewisberry, Pennsylvania back in 2015. Now that's taken advantage of what the sport has to offer. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Ball 4. Missed outside. The runner was moving, Ben Tryon, but he puts the brakes on because he gets to go to second base. Back-to-back walks to Tryon and Krause, and a threat brewing here for the Patriots.
Brendan Brock wants a quick word with his pitcher. Try to settle him down.
So we'll take a moment to remind you that for all things college baseball, including live games and talk, tune in to SiriusXM College Sports Radio Channel 84 and streaming on the SiriusXM app. We also want to thank our concession partners, Sooner Sports Properties, with Anheuser-Busch, Fletcher's Original Corny Dogs, Coca-Cola, Frito-Lay, The Baked Bear, Taco Mayo, Wonderfolk, and Boomerang Diner. And Skip Johnson is also out of the dugout for this conversation, all the infielders getting in on it. And a leisurely stroll out by plate umpire Sean Arthur to break up the conversation. I have not seen an indication to the bullpen. There is somebody standing on one of the mounds out there that might be ready, and it'll just be a mound visit here from Skip. Onward will continue Reed Hensley. They'll face the shortstop Dylan Cupp with runners at first and second and one away in the top of the fourth in a scoreless ball game. Cupp struck out. That was against Isaac Williams. Jaden Barfield, Isaac Williams, Xander Mercurius, and now Reed Hensley. 4 pitchers in 4 innings for the Sooners. First pitch is right through there. Like he took a little off of a fastball there. He's kind of got a cut fastball that he throws, which is not quite that high velocity, just let it rip pitch. 0-1 the count on Cupp. Hensley back with another one, a shot into center field, but right at Jason Walk, who puts the brakes on, squeezes it, and the runners have to retreat on a hard hit line drive to center off the bat of Dylan Cupp. That's out number 2.
And we'll see if Hensley in Oklahoma for a second consecutive inning can leave a couple stranded aboard and one in scoring position.
Indeed, the Patriots left 2 out there in the third. They had the first 2 batters reach, but Mercurius stranded them. And now it is runners at first and second, 2 gone for Landon Underhill. Right-hander to left-hander. Hensley's pitch is up and away. Underhill got hit by a pitch in the third, and he was one of the 2 left out there. Hensley ready with his 1-0. Fouled off the foot of the batter, Landon Underhill. Looks like he's okay. It's kind of shaken out. Josh, I think it got him on his back foot, which is his left foot.
Yeah, probably not a ton of fun either way.
Kind of a mini shift here for the Sooners. Branch is very close to the outfield grass out at second. And Jackson Willits, the Sooner shortstop, is, I'd say he's 12 feet away from second base bag as the next one misses to Landon Underhill, and it's 2-1. Feels like a dangerous pitch right here for Hensley. 2 balls and a strike to Landon Underhill. Pulled right at the first baseman. Down to a knee goes LaChance. He'll gather it up, win the foot race to the bag, and that is out number 3. A ground ball to the first baseman, Dayton LaChance. No hits, 2 walks, and 2 men left for the Patriots in the top of the 4th. Oklahoma leads it 1-0, and this is Sooner baseball from Learfield.
Power. It's more than what lights your home. It's what you do with it, and you do wonders. That's why OG&E works to make the way we bring you power even more reliable. The way you live is rapidly changing, so we're making your power even smarter. And as your energy needs change, we're working to keep your rates as low as possible. Because for power to work for everyone, we've got to make your power go further. At OG&E, we energize life.
Oh, mama! Sooner Nation, it's time to welcome the new official smoked sausage of OU Athletics, Conecuh Sausage. Conecuh Sausage uses the finest ingredients to make the best tasting hickory smoked sausage, perfect for your game day tailgate. So put the ponies in the barn and the smoked Conecuh Sausage on the grill. Enjoy at Gaylord Family Oklahoma Memorial Stadium and at all of your favorite OU Athletics events this year. And check them out online at ConecuhSausage.com. Conecuh Sausage, true Southern flavor since 1947.
What a matchup we've got, folks. Just nonstop action. The energy is electric and the fans are all in. An intense game like this calls for a Coca-Cola. Crisp and refreshing. That's a game changer. Yeah, that taste scores every time. And just like that, they're back at it. Passionate fans and an ice-cold Coca-Cola. Now that's a winning combo. No matter the team, no matter the sport, everyone knows fan work is thirsty work. Enjoy a Coca-Cola.
Planet Fitness is a proud partner of Sooner Baseball with multiple locations in Oklahoma. Planet Fitness can help you with whatever you're getting strong for. Join today.
Alongside Josh Helmer, I'm Chad McKee. 1-0 Oklahoma on top. Sooners batting in the bottom of the 4th inning, and Jackson Willits swings at the first pitch. It's a bounding ball toward the shortstop, Dylan Cupp, who fields outside of his body with his left glove hand and throws to first on the move to retire Jackson Willits. Shortstop retiring shortstop for the first out here in the 4th inning. That brings in Sooner left fielder Trey Gamble. Back out is Liam Watt. He's been good so far for the Patriots. This left-hander, 3 1/3 innings of 3-hit ball, did surrender the 1 earned run, a walk, and 2 strikeouts. And there's a strike to the left-hand batting Trey Gamble.
A little bit of activity starting out there in that Dallas Baptist bullpen. Some light throwing.
This will be pitch number 56, and it is a little bit inside to Gamble. Trey Gamble grounded out to the second baseman, Keaton Grady, his first time. Batting .370, tops on this Oklahoma ball club. 3 homers and 14 runs driven in. Hard hit ground ball, but barely a couple of steps to his left to scoop it up is the shortstop Cupp. And the peg is in time for the second out. So a couple of ground balls to short hit by the Sooners, and the bases are clear with 2 down. Oklahoma leads 1-0 here in the bottom of the 4th.
First time up, Drew Dickerson. Boy, he rifled one over there past third.
And here he is with the bases empty and 2 down. Left-hander pitching to right-handed hitter. Dickerson takes, and that's a strike. Here's the 0-1. Rifled foul over the top of the DBU dugout over on the first base side. It's the net back screen that was extended a few years ago to cover the tops of the dugouts. All these great improvements that are ongoing at Kimry Family Stadium. New bullpens, the new batter's eye wall in straightaway center field as Dickerson slashes another one foul and out of play over the first base side. I would say twice the size of the old batter's eye wall. Got the Big cutout out in the left center field part of it for the cameras. Another 0-2. Dickerson watches this one go outside. And, of course, when the season ends, regular season ends, they'll really start to hammer down on some of the other ongoing improvements here at Kimry Family Stadium. The new clubhouse, the new fan plaza. As the 1-2 pitch is delivered low. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Concessions, bathroom upgrades, some seating changes, all a part of that facelift that will happen here over the next couple of years.
But it's looking good already. 2-2 to Dickerson. And he fouls another one out on that first base side. .350 hitter with 2 home runs and 9 runs driven in. Not always easy to not know exactly when you're going to be in the lineup, but Drew Dickerson has made the most of his opportunities. And he spoils another one. Foul ball, that came back up and got a little piece of him. Not much, though. I think he's okay. It stays 2-2. Liam Watt. Another 2-2 to the Sooner DH. Dickerson hits this hard on the ground to third. Neville is up with it this time, and his throw to first is in time. The inning is over. 3 ground ball outs in a 1-2-3 fourth inning worked by Liam Watt. It is number 12 Oklahoma 1, Dallas Baptist nothing as we move to the 5th at Kimry Family Stadium in Norman. And this is Sooner Baseball from Learfield.
Oklahoma, Joseph Dabrowski, General Manager at Seth Wadley Chevy GMC in Pauls Valley. We know times can get stressful, and Seth Wadley Chevy GMC in Pauls Valley is here to make it count. That's why we're giving more money for your trade and giving way more than market value. Whether you need a Chevy or GMC, a heavy-duty, van, crew cab, cabin chassis, or any fleet vehicle, we have millions in inventory for you to choose from in all sizes and all trims. And with some of the biggest discounts and the lowest interest rates, that's something only an all-American brand from an Oklahoma-owned dealership can do. Oh, and if you have any challenges, just ask for me, Joseph Dabrowski, General Manager, to help your visit be one of the best you'll have anywhere. And you'll keep getting savings with Seth spending over $24 million and counting on a promise. Tell him, Seth.
That's my promise of oil changes and engines for life on new or used gas or diesel at no additional cost to you.
So get to the store with more at Seth Wadley Chevy GMC I-35 exit 72 in Pauls Valley, or click SethWadleyChevy.com.
A happy place comes in many colors. One that leaves you feeling refreshed. Something that gets you all fired up. Or gives you the space to chill. Whatever your color, bring happiness home with CertaPro Painters and make your happy place your home. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Get started today at CertaPro.com. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
Tonight's game broadcast is presented by our OU Community Cornerstone partners, Fowler Auto Group, OG&E, OU Health, and Coca-Cola. University of Oklahoma Athletics, one with you. So as we go to the 5th, we see the 5th Sooner pitcher of the night, as Skip Johnson will turn to Michael Catalano, the right-handed sophomore out of Frisco, Texas. He started a week ago tonight against Arizona State with the wind blowing out and struggled through that one. So he, as was the case with Jaden Barfield earlier tonight, will kind of try to bounce back from that performance here. He'll face 8-9-1 in the Dallas Baptist lineup. Adam Bergholt, Cooper Neville, and then Keaton Grady back in the leadoff spot. Your 4-inning totals for the home standing 12th ranked Oklahoma Sooners. It is 1 run on 3 hits with no errors and 2 men left on the bases. And for the visiting Dallas Baptist Patriots, no runs on a hit with no errors. They have stranded 4. Ready to work is Catalano to Adam Bergholt. Bergholt has the lone DBU hit tonight. It was a single with a man aboard in the 3rd. Patriots had the first 2 batters reach, and then they were both left stranded by Xander Mercurius. Catalano deals outside. Michael had a very good freshman year, 22 appearances, ERA of 4. And it's 1-0. That one is low and in. First time out this spring, he struck out 4 in 2 2/3 innings. And then the rough spot against Arizona State. His 2-0 pitch is fouled out of play. And it's 2-1 now to Adam Bergholt.
A second inning that I'm sure he's ready to turn the page on here tonight.
You know, Josh, it's about time. I got to give you time to prepare because it takes a minute for the SEC scoreboard. As this 2-1 pitch is a fly ball to center field, more toward right center. Jason Walk easily takes care of that one. Okay, may take a minute, couple of outs to get through, so let's get started. It is your SEC scoreboard presented by Air Comfort Solutions, your total home solution for plumbing, heating, air conditioning, and electrical. Make the winning call today.
Number 6, Arkansas, a final 10-2 over Oral Roberts. Number 19, Tennessee today, 7-1. They take care of East Tennessee State. A final, number 21, Kentucky beats Eastern Kentucky 10-0.
Left-hand batting, third baseman Cooper Neville is in. He takes the first pitch low and in from Catalano.
22nd ranked Texas A&M. They beat Incarnate Word. We talked about them earlier. 11-1 was the final there down in College Station.
Catalano ready with his 1-0 to Cooper Neville, and it's in there. Count is even at 1-1.
Alabama slips past Jacksonville State 6-5. That's a final now down in Tuscaloosa.
Catalano, 1-1, and that's bounced foul over toward the first base side. All right, Josh.
Surprising score in Nashville. Central Arkansas 5, Vanderbilt 4. Florida, they have topped Florida Atlantic 4-0, the final tally there.
Sooners have a shift on here. Willits, the shortstop, is behind the bag at second as the 1-2 pitch just missed outside to Cooper Neville, so the count is 2 balls and 2 strikes. I think you're getting close.
Number 10, Georgia 11. Kennesaw State 1. That's a bottom 8 score. South Carolina leads USC Upstate in the 7th, 8-3.
Got a big top 25 matchup between Southern Miss and Mississippi State. First the 2-2, and he slashes that one foul. Trying to go to the opposite field. The Sooners have only one infielder over on that side of the infield.
In that big showdown, number 11, Southern Miss, 5-0. That's in the bottom of the 4th. They lead Mississippi State down in Hattiesburg.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Michael Catalano working to Cooper Neville with the bases clear. And that grazed him on the top of his foot. And so Cooper Neville hit by a pitch. He heads to first base with 1 away in the 5th inning.
3 more scores for you. Number 7, Auburn, 3-0. They lead Samford in the 5th. Number 3, Texas, 4-1, trying to stay unbeaten. They lead Houston Christian. That's in the bottom of the 4th. And Ole Miss 5, Memphis 1, bottom 3. Your SEC scoreboard.
Well done. And it is presented by Air Comfort Solutions. Here's Keaton Grady. Runner at first and 1 away. Sooners lead it 1-0, so the tying run is aboard. And the first pitch is in there to Keaton Grady. He is 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts. 1 against Jaden Barfield, 1 against Xander Mercurius. So he's facing his 3rd pitcher of the night. Michael Catalano ready with an 0-1 pitch to Grady. And there's strike 2. Just pumps another fastball through there at the knees. Sooner bullpen continues to be active out in left field. Not much activity out in the DBU pen in right. There's a quick throw over to first. Catalano trying to catch Cooper Neville napping over there. The 2-strike pitch. There goes the runner. The pitch swung on, sliced down the left field line. Long run into the corner, caught in fair territory by Trey Gamble. And Cooper Neville, who was off with the pitch, has to race back to first base on the 2nd out here in the 5th inning. Right idea there by Keaton Grady. Oklahoma with just the 1 infielder over on the left side, but he flies out to Trey Gamble in left. And now it's Jake Bennett.
Felt like Neville was about a third of the way down the baseline before Catalano ever even released that baseball there on that pitch.
Did get a good jump, but he's back at first with 2 down. Bennett is 0 for 2. Catalano deals. And a little bit downstairs. Bennett has popped up to short and grounded to short. A .313 hitter with 6 home runs. Michael Catalano, the Sooner sophomore, wheels and throws over to first. Cooper Neville is back in. Catalano's 1-0. Hard hit, base hit into right field. Up with it out there is Nolan Stevens. Rounding second is Neville. He'll dive in to third base. And the Patriots have runners at first and third and 2 down on the first hit of the night for Jake Bennett. A lot of room over there on the right side. Bennett just took it through there. And now the tying run is at third. The go-ahead run is at first. The right fielder Ryan Martin stands in from the right side. That is the second hit for the Patriots tonight. Sooners have 3. 1-0 Oklahoma with 2 down in the top of the 5th. And a first pitch fastball in there on the inner half from Catalano.
Important first pitch strike right there.
Michael comes set at the chest. Kicks and deals. Swing and a miss. A fastball. Threw it past him. And it's 0-2 now to Ryan Martin.
See if you could maybe get him to chase right here, or do you think about just trying to blow one past him? We'll see.
Martin struck out back in the first, flied to left field in the fourth. He's 0 for 2, and he's down 0-2 against Catalano. There goes the runner from first, and the pitch is swung on and skied out into left center field. 3 players converge. It'll be the center fielder Walk who calls and makes the catch, and the inning is over. A hit batsman and a base hit. 2 more men left on the base paths by the Patriots. Sooners lead it 1-0 halfway through this one at Kimry Family Stadium. We'll move to the bottom of the 5th after this. You're listening to Sooner Baseball from Learfield.
This is Jake Aldridge, partner at Aldridge Teasdale. We know accidents happen when you least expect them. But if you're injured, your path to recovery and justice starts with the right attorney by your side. At Aldridge Teasdale, we understand that every injury is personal and that every story matters. You deserve an advocate who will fight for you. But don't wait. If you need medical assistance, you need to get it now, and we can help you with access to the best doctors in Oklahoma. Call Aldridge Teasdale today, 405-447-HURT. That's 405-447-4878.
For the professional, it's not enough to just possess knowledge. That's why at GMC, we seek to refine it, to wield its power, to redefine its boundaries, while pushing the limits. And we put this knowledge to the test in every GMC Sierra by engineering each one to outperform your expectations. So you know you're getting precision and durability when you need it most. And that's what makes the GMC Sierra the truck worth knowing. We are professional grade. See your Oklahoma GMC dealers.
Racing season is here at Remington Park. Giddy up and let's go racing. Thursday through Saturday with first post time at 6 p.m. Come feel the fastest fun around. Remington Park has the winning experience for everyone. Their casino is open 24 hours a day, and new members earn up to $50 of free play. Explore the excitement of the Oklahoma City casino scene with top games, dining, and entertainment options available. Remington Park Racing and Casino. Call 405-424-1000 or visit remingtonpark.com.
1-0 Oklahoma as we reach the midway mark on this Tuesday night at Kimry Family Stadium. 12th ranked Sooners lead the DBU Patriots 1-0, and it'll be the lower third of the Oklahoma lineup here to face Liam Watt, who is back out there. This left-hander, so far 66 pitches, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 2 strikeouts, and a walk. Nolan Stevens in from the left side. Lefty-lefty matchup. First pitch is down and in to Nolan. I think you have a softball final score. Softball playing down at North Texas in Denton tonight, the Sooners.
16-4, the final in 5 down in Denton. Oklahoma beats North Texas.
Stevens skies this one to left field. Been trying the left fielder, stares at it and comes in, but he'll be called off by the shortstop. Cup. Looked like that ball almost popped out of the pocket of the glove of Dylan Cup, but he retained possession for the first out.
Wound up being a much trickier play than it looked like initially off the bat. OU softball now 20-2. They've hit 91 home runs through their first 22 games. Bella Immerling went yard twice tonight, both in the same inning, Chad.
Jason Walk swings at the first pitch from Watt. How many home runs did you say?
Oklahoma has 91 home runs through its first 22 games.
That's 4 per game, 4+ per game. Jason Walk slashes one out into right field. Played on a bounce by Ryan Martin out there. So Jason Walk has himself a 1-out single in the 5th to try to get something started for the Sooners.
And that update, by the way, from none other than the man himself, Chris Plank.
Yes, George Christopher Plank providing that update. He was on hand to call it. Softball will be back here this weekend to take on Abilene Christian and Louisiana Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We'll be busy here at Kimry Family Stadium as Santa Clara comes in, the final non-conference weekend of the year. Here's Kyle Branch for the Sooners. Walk leads away from first. When's he going to go? When will Jason Walk go? First pitch is downstairs to Branch. He walked and then scored on the base hit by Dayton LaChance. That's the only run so far. It came in the bottom of the 3rd. There's a little step-off throw by the left-hander. Straddling the pitching rubber and steps that back foot, his left foot off, and whips it over to the first baseman, Chayton Krause. There's a little more toward the A move, but not the full A move, I don't think, from Watt as he throws over one more time. Walk is 5 out of 6 in the stolen base department. Sooners as a team are 5th in the country, 40 out of 44. And there's a third throw over.
And the fans will groan.
One ball and no strikes to Kyle Branch. To the plate it comes this time, up and away. That's the thing that speed does. Puts the pressure on opposing defenses, especially the guy who's got to throw it to the plate after throwing over to first base 3 times. Now the 2-0 to Branch. Caught the outside edge, a fastball. And the crowd's grumbling about that. Sooners have 4 hits after the base hit by Walk. And he throws over again. This time, Walk is back in standing.
You know, it brings the Kimry Family Stadium to life in a way, too, those throwovers. Get everybody's attention, wakes you up a little bit. It's like, wait a second, we don't like that.
Yeah, fans get exceedingly annoyed at throws over to first. And there's another one. That's number 5. The count is 2-1 on Kyle Branch. There goes Walk. The 2-1 swung on and missed. The throw by Bergholt is on time. It's on target, and he's out. Well, that was the matchup that we thought we would see. And Adam Bergholt is able to throw out Jason Walk. Only the second time Jay Walk has been caught stealing. So the 1-out single gets erased on the caught stealing. And a 2-2 pitch with 2 down and the bases clear is ready for Kyle Branch. Full count. The pitch missed low.
Great throw down and a terrific tag applied by Keaton Grady.
Second time Walk's been caught stealing. The 5th, the Sooners have been caught. And there's a swing and a miss. So it looked promising, but Liam Watt slams the door with a little help from the catcher, Adam Bergholt. The caught stealing, and 2 pitches later, a strikeout. Just like that, the deal is done. We're through 5 in Norman. 12th-ranked Sooners on top of Dallas Baptist, 1-0, and this is Sooner Baseball from Learfield.
Fowler Automotive is proud to be a part of your community, where our passion and values lie far beyond the showroom. We believe that families, sports, art, and culture are at the heart of every thriving community, and it's important to us that we help build the communities that our dealerships call home. Stop by any of our 6 Oklahoma dealerships to see the Fowler standard hard at work. We pride ourselves on being friendly, helpful, honest, and fair. This is what drives us every day. Fowler Automotive, a proud partner of OU Athletics.
Hey guys, it's Dory Noka. Have you been involved in an auto accident? If so, it's time to contact the OKC Car Crash Clinic of Dr. Martin Lopez. He's a board-certified and fellowship MD with unparalleled training and experience. Dr. Lopez works with a great team of healthcare professionals and attorneys to help you achieve the best physical and financial recovery. Contact Dr. Lopez at 405-86-CRASH or at OKCCrash.com. Don't forget to listen every week to the Dory Noka Show for the Impact Player of the Game, brought to you by Dr. Martin Lopez. No one plans for an injury, but when the worst happens, count on the best orthopedic team to turn your setbacks into comebacks. Ortho Central's comprehensive care has you covered, from expert orthopedic surgery and sports medicine to in-house imaging, physical therapy, and even a bone health clinic. So whether it's a fracture, a tear, or just life catching up with you, we're here to get you moving again. Ortho Central, it's in our bones to take care of yours. Learn more at orthocentralok.com.
You're listening to the home of Sooner fans, KREF, Norman, Oklahoma, and streaming live on the KREF app.
The Ref Sports Radio Network.
Well, your totals through 5 innings tonight for the Sooners: a run on 4 hits, no errors. They have left 2 men stranded. Dallas Baptist, no runs, 2 hits, no errors. And they have left 6 men on the base paths. First Sooner pitcher to go more than 1 inning is going to be Michael Catalano. He's out for a 2nd inning of work, and he is set to work to the middle third of this DBU lineup, beginning with left fielder and left-handed batter Ben Tryon. The right-hander missed outside. Now, there is current activity in the pen, so though Catalano starts this inning, there's no guarantee that he goes further than even this hitter. Ben Tryon walked in the 4th. He's 0 for 1. And Catalano has missed with 2 straight outside. 2-0. A 2-0 pitch in there for a called strike. So Skip Johnson was talking to us about trying to find a midweek starter and how it's been since like 2019 since Oklahoma had a regular guy. More than anything, that is a credit to how good Skip Johnson is as a pitching coach, as the 2-1 pitch is in there for a called strike 2, because he gets so many guys drafted. It is a challenge. You're replenishing your weekend starting rotation 3 times in the last 6 years. So then you got that trickle-down effect to your midweek starter. Sooners have shifted with 3 infielders on the first base side. This one is hit right at one of them. It's the shortstop, Willits, who was playing on the second base side. And he picks it up and scoots it over to first to retire the speedy Ben Tryon for the first out. And if you don't shift, that might be a base hit.
Yeah, it probably is a base hit right up the middle right there, but instead hit right into it.
And now they shift the other way with Chayton Krause up there. 3 infielders on the left side, and the right-hand batting Chayton Krause standing in 0 for 1 with a walk and a strikeout. Catalano deals a strike. The sophomore right-hander readies the next and blazes a 93-mile-an-hour fastball inside to even things up at 1-1 to Krause. 4 homers, 15 runs driven in, and a sweet mustache for Chayton Krause, at least the one that's out on the video board, as he hits this one foul back to the back screen on the first base side. That takes it to 1-2. This is the 47th meeting between these teams. Sooners lead the series 26-20. Dan Hefner has a winning record against Oklahoma since he became the head coach. There's strike 3, and Krause checked his swing on a pitch that ran in on his hands, a fastball. A strikeout there for Michael Catalano. And that's his first strikeout. Bases are clear and 2 gone. That is 6 strikeouts for Sooner pitching tonight. Here's Dylan Cupp, the shortstop. Taps the first pitch, foul off of his foot. And it's 0-1. Dylan Cupp has struck out and lined to center field. Michael Catalano pitched out of a jam in the 5th inning. Hit a batter, gave up a single, but then got a fly ball. He's retired 4 straight now. And it's 0-1 to Dylan Cupp. Fouled off of the plate umpire, Sean Arthur. And down he goes. Sean Arthur is hurt after that one. He is kind of bent over. Hope that he is all right. That will certainly rattle your cage. Went right off of his face mask. Both trainers out to check on him. Skip Johnson's out as well. Got the third base umpire, Seth Buckminster, down the line. It's kind of, there are concussion protocols just to make sure that he's okay too.
Well, it was rocketed backwards foul right off the top of that face mask. Almost right down Main Street, it looked like.
Yeah, nothing the catcher or Sean Arthur could do about it. Looks like he'll be okay.
A scary moment.
Man. So they are going to walk him over to the DBU dugout. So Sean Arthur walking over into the Dallas Baptist dugout. Get a little medical attention over there. We'll take a moment to remind you that Sooner Baseball is brought to you by OG&E. We energize life. And by our concession partners, Community Coffee, Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers, High Noon, Cup Bop, Nacho Express, Conecuh Sausage, and Evan Williams. Sooner basketball leading 80-64. They're going to win with under a minute to go over Missouri across the street from us at the Lloyd Noble Center, playing some really good baseball, or I should say really good basketball. Late in the year are the Sooners, and softball has been a winner. Maybe Josh, give us that SEC scoreboard as we get a chance here. Once again, they are attending to our plate umpire, Sean Arthur, who got hit right in the face mask on a foul ball off the bat of Dylan Cupp. In our SEC scoreboard presented by Air Comfort Solutions, your total home solution for plumbing, heating, air conditioning, and electrical. Make the winning call today. Josh, what do you got?
Let's look first at the other games currently in progress. Top 8, South Carolina down in Columbia. They lead USC Upstate 11-3. So just a few outs away from wrapping that one up. Maybe a couple of runs away from a run rule victory there. Bottom 5, number 11, Southern Miss. This, you'd look at it and say, hey, this is the game of the day in the SEC. Number 11, Southern Miss 5. Number 4, Mississippi State 3. So Mississippi State starting to claw back, Chad, bottom 5 there. Bottom 6, number 7, Auburn, down in Auburn. 3-1, they lead Samford. And 2 other in-progress scores for you. Number 3, Texas 8, Houston Christian 1, down in Austin. And Ole Miss, they lead Memphis 5-1. That's a bottom 5 score. The games that have gone final in the SEC. Number 6, Arkansas, victorious today. They pound out 12 hits. They win 10-2 versus Oral Roberts. Number 19, Tennessee in Knoxville, victorious versus East Tennessee State. 11 hits for the Vols. They win at 7-1. Number 21, Kentucky. They blank Eastern Kentucky. A game played in Richmond. Richmond, Kentucky, 10-0 the final there. Number 22, Texas A&M 11, Incarnate Word 1. Alabama, they slipped past Jacksonville State. A one-run victory, 6-5 in Tuscaloosa for the Crimson Tide. Central Arkansas, they surprised Vanderbilt today in Nashville. 5-4 was the final, and 2 more scores for you. Number 9, Florida, 4. Florida Atlantic, nothing in Gainesville. And number 10, Georgia, 11. Kennesaw State, 1. That's a final as well from Mickey Dunn Stadium.
Our score here, number 12, Oklahoma 1, Dallas Baptist nothing. And your SEC scoreboard is presented by Air Comfort Solutions. They continue to attend in the DBU dugout to the plate umpire Sean Arthur. And more on the SEC and what's been happening in the league. Texas, the lone unbeaten team, looks like they're going to stay that way and go to 11-0. And then you've got Florida, Mississippi State, Texas A&M all sitting with 1 loss, although it looks like that might change for Mississippi State. They are bound maybe for their 2nd loss of the year to that really good Southern Miss team. Sooners are one of 7 2-loss teams in the SEC. 14 games tonight. There was actually a game yesterday, played on Monday. Northeastern beat number 2 LSU 13-10 in that game yesterday. This once again being the final week of non-conference play, as Oklahoma will host a 4-game series against Santa Clara Thursday and Friday nights at 6:30, Saturday 2 o'clock, and then Sunday at 1 o'clock before midweek action against UT Arlington next week. And then Texas A&M coming to town to get the conference slate started for the Sooners. Dallas Baptist, in the meantime, well, they have this midweek game. Then they have Louisiana. That will be this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. They've got a little midweek action on the road in Stillwater a week from tonight, and then they'll have New Mexico State. So Dallas Baptist jumping into Conference USA play. And very interesting for the Patriots. They are going to be joining the Pac-12 Conference as an affiliate member for baseball beginning on July 1st of 2026. So they'll be welcomed in by Gonzaga, Oregon State, Washington State. Of course, Oregon State and Washington State, the 2 remaining members of the Pac-12. But you got Gonzaga, Fresno State, San Diego State, Texas State all joining up. And then Dallas Baptist joining that league, the Pac-12, beginning July 1st. So they'll be a Pac-12 member a year from now when I'm sure they play the Sooners in a midweek game at some point.
It's not been a homestand. It's been a Pac-12 swing for Oklahoma, has. The old, the new.
Yeah, Gonzaga this past weekend, and Arizona State, formerly in the Pac-12 and now in the Big 12. That is who Oklahoma played last week. Of course, with the shuffling conferences, there's some sort of 6 degrees of separation everywhere you go now with conference affiliation, it seems.
We ran down the SEC scoreboard, talked about the strength of this league. 11 SEC squads are currently ranked in the latest top 25 poll from D1 Baseball. Chad, 7 inside the top 12, including Oklahoma. Just speaks to the strength of the conference.
7 of the top 12. Good luck in the SEC, the premier baseball league in the country. And Oklahoma's schedule is just, you got Texas A&M to start with right there. Then you go on the road for your next series at second-ranked LSU. The following week, you're at third-ranked Texas. That's right out of the gate in conference play for Oklahoma. They have Alabama coming to Norman at the beginning of April. They've got Missouri coming to Norman. They've got Florida coming to Norman. And their road series will be, as I mentioned, at LSU, at Texas, at Vanderbilt, at Auburn, at Arkansas. And then they'll wrap up the regular season here at Kimry Family Stadium all the way in mid-May against Tennessee. So that's a look at it for the Sooners, what they have coming up in SEC play.
It will be a big-time challenge. It will be, for fans, great environments here at Kimry Family Stadium and a ton of theater on the road. Great challenges for Oklahoma. And that's what you sign up for when you go and say, hey, we want to be a part of the SEC Conference. You know that it's going to be a big challenge in all sports, but certainly in baseball.
I don't know which sport is the toughest as far as the SEC is concerned. They're all difficult. Doesn't matter what sport you play in. The league is a challenge.
Both diamond sports, certainly that way.
No doubt. They continue to attend to our home plate umpire, Sean Arthur. He was hit by a foul ball directly in his face mask and went down, got to his feet, kind of bent over for a little bit. They came, talked to him, and he's gone into the DBU dugout now for, I'm thinking it's about 4 to 5 minutes. as they give him no doubt some medical treatment. We cannot see into the DBU dugout, don't have a camera down there, so that's the best that we can tell you as far as what's going on. We hope that Sean Arthur is all right. Certainly his compadres Seth Buckminster, Brandon Meisen, and John Perez are concerned about their partner.
I can tell you, Oklahoma baseball brought to us by Coca-Cola. Passionate fans and an ice-cold Coca-Cola. Now that's a winning combo. Fan work, it's thirsty work. Enjoy a Coca-Cola. Yeah, just hoping he's okay. That was a scary moment. The foul ball fouled straight back into his umpiring mask, and it immediately keeled him over. So we're just hoping he's all right.
So our score is 1-0 Oklahoma on top of Dallas Baptist. 2 down in the top of the 6th inning. Patriots trying to answer the run that Oklahoma got. It was an RBI base hit by Dayton LaChance in the bottom of the 3rd. That is the lone run scored in this game to this point.
Catalano is, this is now obviously a long wait for everybody, but he's the lone Sooner arm right now tonight, Chad, that has gotten more than one inning of work.
Yes, Oklahoma started with Jaden Barfield. He pitched a scoreless first. Then we saw Isaac Williams come out, scoreless inning for him with 2 strikeouts. Xander Mercurius a scoreless inning. Reed Hensley a scoreless inning. And now Michael Catalano, who has pitched 1 scoreless inning and 2/3.
Three-man umpiring crew.
I think that's what we're going to go to here. So Sean Arthur has still not emerged, and I believe they will allow Catalano whatever time he might need. And I think that is Josh Perez, who was the first base umpire, if I'm not mistaken. Forgive me if I made a mistake. They tell us where the umpires are to start the night. When they're shuffling, then it is a guessing game. But we'll find out for sure. And Catalano will be afforded warm-up pitches here. And we hope for all the best, wish the best for Sean Arthur, taking that foul ball off of his face mask and unable to continue at least at this point. So we'll go on with the 3-man umpiring crew. Once again, 2 down for DBU. And we're in the top of the 6th inning here at Kimry Family Stadium. Game approaching the 2-hour mark. Back in there is Dylan Cupp. The count is 0-2 on him. And Michael Catalano set to go. And a fastball misses outside. A ball and 2 strikes. So I'm gathering probably an 8-minute delay there to attend to our plate umpire, Sean Arthur. A ball and 2 strikes. Dylan Cupp has struck out and lined out so far tonight. And now 2-2. That one missed away also. Still activity in the Oklahoma bullpen, though they have stopped throwing. They're just kind of milling around. And now there's some throwing. Got a left-hander. 2-2 pitch forthcoming from Catalano. Swung on and missed. So it's back-to-back strikeouts of Kraus and Cupp. And a 1-2-3 6th worked by Michael Catalano, including his first 2 strikeouts. Oklahoma leads at 1-0. We head to the bottom of inning number 6 at Kimry Family Stadium. After this, you're listening to Sooner Baseball from Learfield.
Here we go. Homeland brings savings and Sooner W's home all season long. Homeland is your go-to for all game day essentials. From tailgating treats to armchair game day snacks, we've got everything you need. Order now and enjoy the freshness and savings Homeland is known for. Hassle-free.
Good times are calling your name at Riverwind. So fill your heart with jackpots at OKC's favorite casino. Catch the hottest entertainment at the Showplace Theater.
Or take it all home on a classic table game.
Play with your wild card, and every Friday in February, you could win stacks of cash with our $250,000 Love Struck Luck giveaway. So make it a date, and we'll see you at Riverwind.
At Brahms, we offer more than just burgers, shakes, and fries. We have an entire fresh market for your everyday grocery needs, from farm fresh milk to meats, freshly baked breads, and produce. We also carry a wide variety of our premium ice cream, frozen yogurt, and sherbet. And with Brahms delivery trucks running 7 days a week, our items are always fresh. Stop by your neighborhood Brahms Fresh Market for an incredibly fast, incredibly convenient grocery shopping experience, so you can spend more time on things that matter most.
Bottom of the sixth inning coming your way from Kimry Family Stadium in Norman. The homestanding Oklahoma Sooners, 9th game in a 17-game homestand. And they are on top of the Dallas Baptist Patriots here. 1-0 is our score. To the bullpen will go the Patriots here. So, man, that was a really good outing. I don't know exactly what Dan Hefner and his staff expected to get from Liam Watt, but for him to go 5 and give up 4 hits against this Oklahoma offense, they would have to be thrilled to come away with that result, Josh.
Matched his career-long outing during his time at Dallas Baptist, so I would agree with you. That's anything you could have signed up for and probably then some.
It's going to be another left-hander here, Michael Benzor. He will jump into the fray and face the top of the Sooner lineup here in the bottom half of the sixth. Camden Johnson, then Brendan Brock, and Dayton LaChance. Lefty versus lefty. Benzor is a senior from Houston. He's a double transfer. It's a good arm. As Skip Johnson said, that's DBU. They'll bring guys coming 100 miles an hour out of the bullpen. But he was at Houston last year, 19 appearances, tied for the team lead. Spent his freshman season at Oklahoma State and then the last 2 seasons at Houston. His hat's come off a couple of times. He's throwing so hard. Gonna have to get him to strap that thing down as he threw a fastball past the swinging Camden Johnson, and it's 0-2 to the Sooner third baseman. Camden singled in the third when the Sooners scored their run, and the 0-2 pitch is up and in. He's also flied to left field. Dayton LaChance drove in Kyle Branch with that base hit back in the third. Here's the 1-2. Checked his swing, pitch outside, and they ring him up anyway. The appeal down to the third base umpire, Seth Buckminster, and he said, nope, Camden Johnson went around, and that's the first out in the 6th inning. It brings in Brendan Brock. That is strikeout number 4 for DBU pitching. 3 for Watt and the first for Benzor. He faces Brock, who's 0 for 2 with a strikeout looking and a fly ball to left. First pitch misses. And you hate to play the what-if game a little bit, Josh, but back in the third, you know, LaChance had that base hit. It scored Branch. Camden Johnson was going to be at third base, but the Patriots cut the throw home off and threw out Dayton LaChance, who was trying to go from first to second. He was just trying to sneak over to second base, and the Patriots knew they had no chance to throw out Kyle Branch, so they cut it off and threw out LaChance. That was the third out. Here's the 2-0 pitch, and it's in there, called strike to Brendan Brock, 2-1.
Yeah, would have loved to have given Willits a chance there. Sooners on the corners.
Two balls and a strike. Brock goes after that. Breaking pitch, slider. And he came up empty. So it is 2-2 now.
In hindsight's 2020. Don't have that crystal ball into the future to know all of a sudden it's a pitcher's duel getting late.
Liam Watt stretches and deals, and the 2-2 is rifled foul. Out of play. That was a fastball, a little elevated. Brock had a pretty good swing at it. Brendan Brock, Josh visited with him in our pregame show tonight. 3 home runs in his last 4 games. Hits this one to center field. Wind's blowing in. And And an easy jogging play for the center fielder Underhill in right center field for the second out. Base is empty and 2 away. And here's the man who drove in the lone run of this game back in the 3rd inning. That's first baseman Dayton LaChance.
Be a great time to find his first power surge of this season. Create just that little bit extra bit of separation for OU.
Left-hander out of the stretch position, and LaChance fouls it up and over. 0-1. Batting .368, LaChance has driven in 14 runs in 12 games so far. Out of Sherbrooke, Quebec, Canada, and McLennan Community College. As we mentioned, McLennan Community College, he was coached by Tyler Johnson, Skip's son, who is now on this Dallas Baptist staff. And as we talked with Skip in the pregame show, he said, hey, there's no blood ties once you get into the heat of battle.
That's right.
You can't think about who's over in that other dugout.
He said he was very proud, but on this night, yeah.
Certainly very proud Tyler to make that jump as the head coach at McLennan to DBU. As the 0-2 pitch, it's a called strike 3 to Dayton LaChance. So 2 strikeouts out of the bullpen for Michael Benzer. He works a 1-2-3 6th inning on the bump for DBU. And this game is 1-0 Sooners headed to the top of the 7th inning. This is Sooner Baseball from Learfield.
Come on down to River Bottom Nursery at one of their 2 locations in OKC. Now under new ownership, River Bottom serves both the commercial industry as well as the gardener and homeowner at both their plant and tree nursery locations. River Bottom Nursery has everything you need to make your yard paradise. Call them today, 405-735-3636, or swing by one of their 2 locations. RiverbottomNursery.com, Oklahoma City's premier tree and plant nursery.
Entrepreneurs and More Norman in South Oklahoma City have an experienced business partner in their neighborhood. More Norman Technology Center's workforce and economic development team understands the challenges entrepreneurs and small businesses face every day. From building an effective business model to hiring the right employees and managing cash flow, More Norman's business development experts can help you move forward confidently and thrive, knowing that you have a skilled partner at your side. Learn more about More Norman's Technology Center by calling 405-801-5000 or visit us online at mntc.edu.
Coach Stoops here for Van Hoos Fence. If you want to work with the best local fence company and get championship service, contact my friend Mark and the Van Hoos Fence team. Van Hoos Fence gives each customer the most professional craftsmanship and competitive pricing in Oklahoma. From wood to chain link to vinyl to metal fences, the Van Hoos Fence team does it all. Contact the Fencing All-Americans at Van Hoos Fence, 405-735-1167 or vhfence.com.
On to the 7th inning we go at Kimry Family Stadium in Norman. Tonight's game broadcast is presented by our OU Community Cornerstone partners, Fowler Auto Group, OG&E, OU Health, and Coca-Cola. The University of Oklahoma Athletics, one with you. So the 7th inning brings the 6th Oklahoma pitcher of the night. It is left-hander Gavin Jones. And pitching changes are presented by Serta Pro Painters. If you're looking to make a change at your home, the professionals at Serta Pro Painters can help. Right now, you can get 15% off your next painting project by calling 405-990-8521 and letting Robert and Jonathan take care of you. So Gavin Jones needs a little bit of a bounce back here. And we've seen Catalano and Barfield come back from rough outings the prior timeout. We'll see about Gavin Jones. Set to work to the lower third of this lineup for the Patriots. Landon Underhill leads off, and he takes a strike from the lefty. Underhill, 0 for 1, got hit by a pitch in the 3rd and was left stranded, and then grounded out to first baseman Dayton LaChance in the 4th. Jones rockets a fastball in there at 95 miles an hour on the inner half, and it's 0-2. Reliable arm as a Sooner last year. 22 appearances, 28 strikeouts, and 7 walks. But walks have been the big problem for him so far this year. This one is bounced foul, or I should say bounced right back to the pitcher. Thought it was going to be a foul ball, but I think it hit the front of home plate was what I heard, and Gavin Jones is able to pick it up and toss to first to retire Landon Underhill.
Little chopper, comebacker right over there. Gavin Jones fielding the position and has the first out here of the Hal Smith 7th inning.
Hal Smith Restaurant Groups. They'll feature game day cravings with their wide variety of restaurants available across the Midwest. Visit HalSmithRestaurants.com for the list of restaurants. Welcome to the 7th inning of Sooner baseball. In there is Adam Bergholtz. He singled back in the 3rd, fly to center field in the 5th, and he takes an opening strike from Gavin Jones. The 0-1. Had a look at it, down and away. A ball and a strike on Adam Bergholtz. This one hit in the air, foul. It flies out of play over the first base side. One ball and 2 strikes to the Dallas Baptist catcher, Adam Bergholtz. Third baseman Cooper Neville will follow. Gavin Jones ready. And the 1-2. Little bit low.
Man, that was close. Not quite. Trying to paint that outside corner at the knees. Nearly found it.
Gavin Jones Jr. out of White Oak, Texas. McLennan Community College. And the man who coached him there is over in the DBU dugout. There's a swing and a miss by Bergholtz. He may have gotten a piece of that one. It's hung on to one way or the other by Brendan Brock, the Sooner catcher. 2 down in the 7th inning. Cooper Neville, the third baseman, is the batter. Bases clear, 2 down, top of the 7th. 1-0 Oklahoma leads Dallas Baptist. Neville fouled out to the left fielder Trey Gamble in the 3rd, then got hit by pitch and was left stranded in the 5th inning. And Gavin Jones is ready to work. This is the Gavin Jones that we have seen in a Sooner uniform, Josh.
Agreed. Looks like the Gavin Jones we saw a year ago.
96-mile-an-hour fastball. Left-hander deals. And a little bit late on a fastball, Neville fouls it out of play. 0-2 the count to the DBU third baseman and number 9 batter. Jones with an 0-2. Pulled foul toward the Patriots dugout over on the first base side. So it'll stay 0-2. Jones readies another 0-2, and that one is fouled off as well. Off came the batting cap of Cooper Neville as well. Not sure how that happened. He swings so hard, he just threw it off.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I'll get another look at it here in a second.
I don't know that he swung all the way around and wrapped the bat off of his cap. I don't know. He's ready, though. Digs back in. 0-2 remains the count. And Gavin Jones deals. Strike 3 called, a fastball at 96. How about back-to-back strikeouts for Gavin Jones and a 1-2-3 7th inning? Let's stand and stretch. 7th inning stretch time. Oklahoma leads Dallas Baptist 1-0, headed to the bottom of 7. This is Sooner Baseball from Learfield.
Feeling stuck in your current home? Now is the best time to make a move. Home Creations is making home ownership more affordable with low interest rate opportunities and special financing. Don't wait. Live like a champion today. Call Holly at 405-364-9999 to find your dream home.
364-9999 is Home Creations.
In Norman, great food and great company come together at Louie's Grill and Bar. Legendary burgers, ice-cold beer, and a lively atmosphere make it an easy choice any day of the week.
Louie's Grill and Bar. Good vibes, great food, and always a good time. Louie's Grill and Bar, an Oklahoma favorite. Tune in every Friday to hear more about the Hal Smith Restaurant Group during The Rush and the Dari Noka Show on The Ref. Did the recent storms damage your home and roof? Call All-American Roofing today. All-American Roofing has been repairing and replacing roofs for over 40 years and is a second-generation locally owned roofing company. They are also a Google guaranteed contractor and offer free inspections. Our roofers are GAF Master Elite contractors with a BBB A+ rating. Call All-American Roofing today at 405-787-0400. All-American Roofing, the best roofing company in Oklahoma. 405-787-0400.
Oklahoma Athletics would like to thank the official Eat, Play, Stay partners, Hal Smith Restaurants, Visit Norman, Cup Pop, Norman NCED, Midway Deli, and you can learn more by visiting Soonersports.com for more information.
All right, Josh, here we go. Bottom of the 7th inning. Oklahoma leads Dallas Baptist 1-0 and back out to the mound for his second inning of work is Michael Benzer, who looked good in his first appearance. He retired the Sooners in order. He'll deal with the middle third of the Oklahoma lineup here. Jackson Willits, Trey Gamble, and Drew Dickerson. Benzer deals high to Jackson. 1-0 pulled foul just outside the bag at third. 1-1 now. Lone run came on a Dayton LaChance base hit back in the bottom of the third. The Sooners have had just one base runner since that time. This one is rifled down the right field line. A fair ball inside the line. Into the foul corner it goes. Up with it is Ryan Martin, but Jackson Willits cruises into second with a leadoff double to start the Sooners' 7th inning.
Boy, that's exactly what you're looking for here, trying to find some insurance late. And how about an extra base knock from Willits that really a pretty good job in that corner out there and right to keep that from being 3 bags.
It is double number 5 for Jackson Willits, tied for the team lead. So he is at second to start the 7th inning. And here's Trey Gamble. See how Benzer reacts with a base runner here. Gamble shows bunt, takes the pitch, and it's outside. Trey Gamble has grounded out to second and grounded out to short so far tonight. The 1-0 is in there. Took something off of that one. Dealing a strike on the inner half. 1-1 on Gamble. Trey Gamble stands in batting .357. He has clubbed 3 home runs, driven in 14. And that one is upstairs to him. 2 balls and a strike. It's been a bullpen night for the Sooners. The Patriots got a really good start from Liam Watt tonight. He went 5 innings in his first start as a DBU Patriot. 5 innings, and he gave 4 hits and 1 run.
Yeah, I don't know what the weekend rotation looks like at Dallas Baptist, but I'd be thinking, well, just in case, maybe somebody's making a little bit of a case.
No doubt. Two balls and a strike to Gamble. See if he's still thinking bunt. He is not. He's thinking take outside, and it's now 3-1. That is 26 doubles. Beg your pardon, 27 doubles for the Sooners on the year. 2 tonight. 3-1 to Gamble. Out in front of that one. Pulled the string on him. And it's 3-2 on Trey. Michael Benzer, the payoff upstairs, ball 4. So Trey Gamble has walked for the 12th time this year and the 61st time in 2 seasons as an Oklahoma Sooner. Drew 49 walks last year. And Oklahoma is in business to do business here. The first 2 men have reached in the bottom of the 7th inning. Time called. Adam Bergholt's going to go out for a chat with Benzer.
Yeah, Gamble's not the guy typically you're going to get to climb the ladder there. He is patient.
Sooner Baseball is brought to you in part by Riverwind Casino. Their gaming floor has nearly 3,000 of your favorite games, complemented by a variety of bars, restaurants, and the best live music in the metro. It's no surprise that Riverwind Casino is the official entertainment destination of OU Athletics. Meeting is broken up. There was no mound visit. It was just the catcher, Bergholt, with all of the infielders out there. And the Sooner base runners, Willits and Gamble, visiting with Sooner offensive coordinator Reggie Willits. And now it looks like Dan Hefner is going to come out and make a DBU pitching change. So the first 2 men have reached off Michael Benzer here in the bottom of the 7th inning. And haven't seen the bullpen door open. But it's going to at some point because Benzer's walking to the dugout. So we'll see a new pitcher coming on for DBU. Sooners with 2 men aboard and nobody out in the bottom of the 7th and leading Dallas Baptist 1-0. Pitching change time at Kemry Family Stadium. You're listening to Sooner Baseball from Learfield.
Oklahoma Athletics is proud to partner with the industry that shares the values that makes our state great. Grit, determination, teamwork. Those words describe Sooner Nation and the people who produce the energy we need to make our modern lives go. We welcome our new energy partners from all across our great state and appreciate the essential work they do to keep our economy and our state strong. Because when our energy partners and athletics come together, Oklahoma wins.
Oklahoma Energy Partners is powered by Mewborn Oil, energy for a better tomorrow. Patterson UTI, energizing progress. Gore Nitrogen, quality without question. Williams Energy, experience powers us. Plains All-American Pipeline. Plains moves the energy that powers the modern world. Devon Energy, commitment runs deep. And by OG&E, we energize life.
Well, we see the 3rd Dallas Baptist pitcher of the night. It is a right-hander, Avery Duncan. He is 6'2", 189 pounds from Green Bay, Wisconsin. And he will come on in a tough situation. Runners at first and second for the Sooners and nobody out in the bottom of the 7th inning.
Trying to put out the Flames. Oklahoma trying to find a late crooked number here to find the first real separation tonight. It's been a surprising, if you thought it was a midweek runs fest, it's been a pitcher's duel.
So that is now 7 pitching changes total. And our friends at CertaPro Painters are getting their money's worth. If you're looking to make a change at your home, the professionals at CertaPro Painters can help. You can get 15% off your next interior or exterior project by calling 405-990-8521 and letting Robert and Jonathan take care of you. So Avery Duncan, after Liam Watt and Michael Benzer. Watt went 5 innings. Benzer 1 plus the 2 runners here in this inning. Avery Duncan, 2nd season at DBU, 11 relief appearances a season ago. Fastball slider type of a guy as he completes his warm-up tosses. And Drew Dickerson has an opportunity for the Sooners. The DH and right-handed hitter doubled back in the 2nd. He grounded to 3rd base in the 4th. Three-quarter pitcher hurls one in there. Bunt shown and offered by Dickerson, and he came up empty. It is 0-1. So the Sooners trying to move the base runners along, but tough against this side-winding right-hander. Really closed off as he comes set. You can almost see the numbers on his back, even if you're the hitter. Slings it in there. Bunt shown. Strike 2 taken. And Dickerson just not getting a real clean look, I don't think, at the pitcher, Avery Duncan. He's in a hole 0-2. The 0-2 swung on and missed. So a couple of failed bunt attempts and then a strikeout of Dickerson, one away. Now Nolan Stevens, the right fielder. Again, Jackson Willits doubled. Trey Gamble walked off of Benzer. And Stevens trying to accomplish something off of Avery Duncan. Nolan is 0 for 2. He's grounded to short and popped to short tonight. Right-hander to left-hander. And Duncan throws in behind Jackson Willits at second base. Duncan whips this one inside, and so the count is 1-0. Nolan Stevens, .320 hitter, 2 homers, 8 runs driven in. Native of Elk Grove, California, Mississippi State transfer. This pitch is outside from Duncan. Nolan's brother Grant is OU pitching development coach after his career as a Sooner. And Nolan himself also pitched as a freshman at Mississippi State. But it's full-time bats these days. And the 2-0 pitch to him, swung on and missed. Avery Duncan with a 2-1 pitch, and that's low and in, ball 3. The umpiring switch with the foul ball taken by Sean Arthur, and he had to leave the game. So it's a 3-man umpiring crew. John Perez is indeed the plate umpire. Brandon Mizzen is at first, and Seth Buckminster, your third base umpire, who's now out there in the field with no official second base umpire. 3-1 pitch in the air, deep left field. Ben Tryon is back. The wind blowing in tonight, and Tryon's got plenty of real estate. He'll make the catch right at the beginning of the warning track out there. Again, the wind's blowing in from the north. It's due north at probably 10 to 15 miles per hour. Not telling you that that ball leaves the ballpark on a regular night, but I'll promise you that a week ago tonight when it was 20 miles an hour out, that thing was gone.
Yeah, agreed. It's definitely gone a week ago, but up to Jason Walk now. Trying to find some insurance.
First 2 men reached. Double by Willits and a walk to Gamble, but a strikeout of Dickerson and a fly ball by Stevens. And it is indeed Jason Walk, right-hander dealing to left-hander. 94-mile-an-hour fastball, and Walk was kind of moving out of the way of that pitch as it tailed. It looked like back across the inner half. Walk had a base hit to right field his last time up, then got caught stealing. He's also struck out tonight, so 1 for 2. 0-1 the count as Duncan wheels and throws in behind Willits, the runner at second base again. One 0 Oklahoma on top in the bottom of the 7th inning. Lone run came on a Dayton LaChance base hit in the bottom of the 3rd. And again, Duncan throws in behind Willits. Now the 0-1 to Walk. It gets past the catcher, Bergholt, and both base runners are going to move up. It'll be a wild pitch, and Willits goes to 3rd. Gamble moves to 2nd. So 2 men in scoring position for the Sooners now. That's the first wild pitch uncorked by either side tonight. And we'll see how big it might be. 1-1 to Jason Walk. Way outside with that one. 2 balls and a strike. First base open. Kyle Branch on deck. And a 2-1 count on Walk. Two-one. Walk takes. Strike 2 in there. Took something off that one. And 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Good looking breaker.
And Reggie Willits calls Jason Walk over. Has something to say to the plate umpire, John Perez. And now a conversation with Walk. And Brandon Perez marking down that timeout for the visit. Walk digs back in. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on. Avery Duncan deals, bounces into the glove of Bergholm. I don't know how that didn't hit Walk. Might have skipped between his legs. At any rate, it's ball 3. The payoff pitch ready by Avery Duncan to Jason Walk. Chopper off the plate, right back to the pitcher Duncan. He'll lob it over to first, and Walk beat the wrap. Duncan got too casual with it, just lobbed it over, and Jay Walk is the fastest player out there. Willits scores, and it's 2-0 Sooners for now. They may have a look at a replay, though. For now, 2-0. And I think you just have to score that an error against the pitcher, Duncan. Just being too casual, Josh. He just lobbed that ball over. We're looking at a replay on the video board, and you really can't tell from this far away.
Get you a look in the booth here, Chad, if you want.
So there would be 2 questions. The first would be, did Walk beat the throw? The second would be, did the first baseman Kraus lose contact with the bag in going up to accept a high throw?
Get you another look here in just real time, see what you think.
Josh is my replay guy up here. Credit Walk for hustling, but again, just kind of a lob over there, and yeah, I can't tell.
Yeah, it's bang bang. And obviously, they ruled him safe, so that's advantage Oklahoma, but we'll see.
The other thing I wanted to see, why Duncan waited so long to make that throw over there. If he didn't feel like Kraus was at the bag in time, is why he could have took his time with it. But you would agree with me, he took quite a bit of time.
Lackadaisical, yeah, just and I think
Kraus
he was there. Yeah, on the bag.
He kind of hesitated, and I don't know if he was thinking, sometimes you lose track of the outs, maybe you think you need to come home with it, but the play is first. Oh, they've called him out after review. So wipe away run number 2. Walk is called out, and that's the second time that we've seen DBU able to replay and get a call changed. So the score remains 1-0, and it's a ground out by Walk back to the pitcher, Avery Duncan, for the 3rd out. The Sooners leave 2 men on the bases in the bottom of the 7th inning. Through 7, it's 1-0. 12th ranked Oklahoma leads Dallas Baptist. This is Sooner baseball from Learfield.
The Whataburger Monterey Melt is back? You've got some nerve showing up here again, looking all delicious with your fresh all-beef patties, melty cheeses, grilled peppers and onions, and jalapeno ranch. When I want you, you're nowhere to be found. And now you're back? Aw, get in here. We just missed you, that's all. The Whataburger Monterey Melt is back for a limited time and harder to resist than ever. Download the app. What a burger!
For comprehensive coverage of college baseball and softball all season long, tune to Sirius XM College Sports Radio, Channel 84 in the car and on the Sirius XM app. SiriusXM is the home of your favorite team and conference, including live games, plus interviews and analysis. So cheer along with the SiriusXM app and listen to your favorite team anywhere.
Swing and a miss. She struck her out.
Get a free trial at SiriusXM.com/College Sports Radio 2025.
Mike Rowe here with another random fact. Those cracks on your walls aren't just cosmetic. They could mean your home is sinking. Whether it's drywall cracks, exterior cracks, or sticking doors or windows, do yourself a favor. Call Groundworks. I spent some time working with these guys, and they're the real deal. Their people are trained and certified to stabilize your foundation.
Groundworks, the preferred foundation repair company of the Sooners. Schedule a free inspection.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details. You're listening to the home of Sooner fans, KREF, Norman, Oklahoma, and streaming live on the KREF app.
The Ref Sports Radio Network.
Bob Moore Ford is proud to honor service members through the Patriot of the Game. To nominate a Patriot, visit bobmooreford.com/heroes. Your 7-inning totals for the Oklahoma Sooners: a run on 5 hits, no errors, 4 men left on the bases. And for the visiting DBU Patriots, no runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 6 men left. New Oklahoma pitcher is right-hander Jason Bowden, and he will face the top of the order, second baseman Keaton Grady. Bats for the 4th time tonight. And the first pitch misses inside, 1-0. It's another Serta Pro Painters pitching change. If you're looking to make a change at your home, the professionals at Serta Pro Painters can help. Right now, get 15% off your painting project by calling 405-990-8521 and let Robert and Jonathan take care of you. First 2 have missed in from Bowden to Keaton Grady, who's 0 for 3, and he swings and fouls this pitch back to the backstop. Grady struck out in the first and again in the third, both swinging, and then fly to left field in the 5th. He's a .315 hitter with 10 runs driven in. And the right-hander Jason Bowden, another one of those reliable guys out of the bullpen. Fastball is swung on and missed. Bowden, 31 relief appearances a season ago, was the 2nd most in the SEC. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Keaton Grady. And he fouls this one off, keeps the at-bat alive. Fouled it down into the turf and then off of his foot.
Good little pre-SEC audition perhaps for Bowden on, hey, can you be the go hold it for us late in the ball game guy?
Certainly appears he has that kind of stuff. 2-2 pitch again. One hopper picked up by the second baseman Branch. Over to first he goes for the first out.
Good job battling back, fell behind 2-0 there, and gets the ground ball.
Jason Bowden, the Orange, Texas junior, transfer from Texas A&M, spent 2024 there and only made a couple of appearances, then was just a huge part of things for the Sooners in their NCAA tournament trip last year with those 31 appearances. This pitch misses up and in to Jake Bennett, the DH. He's 1 for 3 at a base hit in the 5th inning. One of only 2 hits for DBU so far tonight. Bowden, a beautiful breaking pitch for a strike, and it's 1-1. Snapped that one off. Almost buckled the knees of Bennett. Bennett, a tough hitter. Those 6 home runs, 14 runs driven in, and a .327 hitter. After that one, strike 2. A ball and 2 strikes now to Bennett. He's had 2 homer games this year. One-two pitch. Chopper slowly to the left side. Third baseman Johnson on and over to first. What a play. And that speed that he has over there at third base helps. He was able to just race across the infield, pick it up, and just get Bennett for out number 2.
Man, that was a tough play. Charging in, Fields throws accurately and finds the second out here for OU.
Third baseman, not always known as the fastest guys on a team, but Oklahoma has the benefit of a guy who can really hit and run and he plays third base, and you see a slow roller like that, man, it helps to have some wheels come and get it.
And almost over by kind of traditional shortstop where he charged to find it and field it.
Bases empty, 2 down. Ryan Martin takes the first pitch outside. And the next one, there's that breaking pitch that's just nasty, and it's 1-1. Martin's 0 for 3. He's flied to left, flied to center, and struck out tonight. Jason Bowden, 7th pitcher used in 8 innings tonight. Deals on the inner half this time, strike 2, and a ball and 2 strikes. The 1-2 pulled to the left side. Again, ranging over Johnson, spins and fires it across. Camden Johnson putting on a show at the hot corner. He's pretty cool down at that spot. He's able to retire Bennett racing in and Martin racing across for the final 2 outs in the 8th inning. Bottom of the 8th coming your way from Kimmery Family Stadium in Norman, where it's number 12 Oklahoma 1, Dallas Baptist nothing. This is Sooner Baseball from Learfield.
Have lunch at Norman's favorite hidden treasure, Midway Deli, tucked away at the corner of Chautauqua and Eufaula. We may be a little hard to find, but we're even harder to forget. Midway features delicious gourmet sandwiches and a great selection of homemade soups, pastas, and stews. Whether it's lunch or catering or booking our food truck, you'll love the food from Midway. Open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. every day. Breakfast is served all day. The Midway, serving great food to Norman since 1955.
Oklahoma Athletics is proud to partner with the industry that shares the values that makes our state great. Grit, determination, teamwork. Those words describe Sooner Nation and the people who produce the energy we need to make our modern lives go. We welcome our new energy partners from all across our great state and appreciate the essential work they do to keep our economy and our state strong. Because when our energy partners and athletics come together, Oklahoma wins.
Oklahoma Energy Partners is powered by Mewborn Oil, energy for a better tomorrow. Patterson UTI, energizing progress. Gore Nitrogen, quality without question. Williams Energy, experience powers us. Plains All-American Pipeline. Plains moves the energy that powers the modern world. Devon Energy, commitment runs deep. And by OG&E, we energize life.
Well, Avery Duncan is back out to the mound for the Patriots to start the bottom of the 8th inning. He will face a pinch hitter for the Sooners. It'll be Dasan Harris pinch hitting in the number 9 spot for Kyle Branch. Frequently called upon for pinch hitting duties, midweek starts, and always up to the task is Dasan Harris. The left-hander facing the right-hander Duncan, who is ready to roll. Dasan shows bunt and pulls the bat back, takes a strike. 0-1. 429 hitter on the year. In those opportunities that he gets is Dasan Harris. 6 out of 14 at the plate, and he's driven in a run. The 0-1. Hits that in the hole at short. Backhanded by Cup. Throw to first. Not in time. Harris beat the wrap. He's safe. And I'm telling you, this guy, it is not easy to do what he does. You don't know if you're going to be in the lineup every day, and he's a great teammate who, whatever is needed of him, he provides it. He beats that out at first base for the 6th Sooner hit. Tough play there for the shortstop Cup.
And Kraus couldn't hang on to that baseball at first, and I don't know, do you think he beats the throw even if he hangs on to the baseball?
I do. I think he's safe anyway. So here is the leadoff man, Camden Johnson, who made 2 spectacular plays for the final 2 outs down at third base in the top half of this 8th inning. Harris runs well. He dives back in on throw over. Harris is 3 out of 4 in the stolen base department this year. Took about 3 hard steps towards second and then pumped the brakes as the pitch missed outside to Camden Johnson. Camden is 1 for 3. Flied to left in the first, then singled in the third, and struck out in the 6th. Lone run scored on a Dayton LaChance RBI single in the third. 1-0 Sooners. But a chance for some insurance on the leadoff infield hit by Harris. And he has to lunge back in at first base on another throw over by Duncan.
Harris 5 for 6 a season ago, stealing bases.
The right-hander Duncan throws over again. How many total throws to bases do you think we've seen tonight?
Oh, yeah, we've gotten our money's worth, no question.
That is what you get in a close game like this. 1-run game since the third. And another throw over. Harris scrambles back in head first.
And it's what I think Oklahoma will see a lot because the book is out. Oklahoma runs.
They are 40 out of 45 in the stolen base department this year. They've been thrown out in the only prior attempt here tonight. Took a big step, stopped, and the pitch is low and in. The catcher Bergholt had difficulty locating that ball. Popped out of his glove and then was just kind of sitting underneath him. And the count here is 2-0 on Camden Johnson.
And Harris, just that little hesitation, is this the right pitch to go on? If he had taken off, he's got second base right there.
Another throw over, and Harris is back. Students directly behind home plate are really letting Avery Duncan hear it. Two balls, no strikes to Camden Johnson, who's batting .359. Show and bunt, takes this pitch for a strike. Camden Johnson love to give the Sooners a little insurance. The 2-1 pitch low and in, and it's 3 balls and a strike now to Camden Johnson. One of the 2 Cam Johnsons on this Sooner team to go along with Cameron Johnson, the pitcher, who's off to a great start at 3-0. Duncan throws over again. Harris is back.
With all respect to Camden Johnson, who's been fantastic, Cameron Johnson was here first, so I think he gets the Cam Johnson.
He gets official Cam Johnson honors?
I think so.
Another throw over. Desan Harris is back one more time. Bryce Madron, the first base coach, over there, and Chayton Krause is holding him on. The 3-1 to Camden Johnson is ball 4 outside, and the first 2 batters have reached in the 8th for the Sooners against Avery Duncan.
And here comes a dangerous bat.
It is Brendan Brock. He's homered in 3 of his last 4 games and leads the Sooners with 4 home runs on the year. There has been some activity for quite some time out in the DBU bullpen. Now the umpires shift. They got to shift because they're down to a 3-man crew. Duncan ready to deal to Brock, and he has to spin back out of the way of that one, up and in. 1-0. Brock tonight is 0 for 3. He has struck out and flied to both left field and center field. And now time call. They have a little visit. They'll send Cale Johnson, the pitching coach, out. He is in his 3rd season as the pitching coach of the Patriots. And this is just pitcher, catcher, and pitching coach. We'll take a moment to tell you about the upcoming schedule. It is presented by One Oklahoma, powered by Sooner Sports Properties, fan-fueled, athlete-focused. You may have to watch the weather a little bit because there is a chance of rain Thursday, Friday, and Saturday this weekend, but the Sooners have their final non-conference home series of the week of the season. They'll be hosting Santa Clara on Thursday and Friday at 6:30, then Saturday at 2 o'clock, and Sunday the scheduled start time will be 1 o'clock. Then midweek action against UT Arlington 1 week from tonight here at Camry Family Stadium. Duncan continues. He readies a 1-0 to Brendan Brock and misses low and in with ball 2. Deshaun Harris had an infield hit to start the inning. He's at second. Camden Johnson walked. He's at first. Both run extremely well. 2-0 pitch is in there for a strike. Fastball about 93 miles an hour. Avery Duncan kind of a little bit crossfire, you might say. He is closed off when he comes set. We can see his numbers up here in the press box. And then kind of three-quarter sidearm slinging it. Fouled up third base way. And now 2-2 on Brendan Brock.
Came in on him, and Brock went around on it, offered, chopped it foul.
A lot of life down in the Sooner dugout on the third base side. Been a good game. Close, well pitched, not many walks, although there have been a couple in recent innings. And they'll throw out behind Deshaun Harris at second base now.
Camry Family Stadium making their feelings known.
Got to keep that runner super tight in a one-run game. Two-two to Brock. Ground ball back up the middle. Ranging over is the shortstop Cup. He will flip to Keaton Grady, the second baseman, and the Patriots get the force play at second, but there will be no throw to first base. That is the first out here in the eighth inning, as Camden Johnson is forced out there at second base. Runners are at the corners with one down for Dayton LaChance, who drove in the lone run of this game with an RBI single back in the third.
Fly ball that's deep enough right here would be a welcome sight for Oklahoma.
And the infield defense signaled by the catcher Adam Bergholt. Deshaun Harris at third. And Brendan Brock at first. Dayton LaChance swings at the first pitch, fouls it back behind the plate. 0-1. That was a fastball. Pretty good pitch to hit.
New home plate umpire almost caught that on the carom. That was nearly pretty smooth back there.
I like it. It's John Perez back there. He's taken over for Sean Arthur, who took a foul ball off the face mask. No balls and a strike to Dayton LaChance. And a throw's going to go over there to first base. Avery Duncan trying to hold Brendan Brock close. Duncan's 0-1 to LaChance. Pulled foul to the Sooner dugout on the third base side. 0-2 now. Jackson Willits waits in the on-deck circle with one out. Getting chillier here at Camry Family Stadium. North wind. It's shifted direction since we had a little rain shower pass through about an hour and 15 minutes prior to first pitch. This pitch is shot into center field. Should score the run. Harris is going to tag at third. And Dayton LaChance has driven in both Sooner runs tonight. This one is a sacrifice fly to center field that scores Deshaun Harris, who reached on an infield single. And the Sooners lead 2-0. Now, Brendan Brock had taken off from first base with the pitch. He has to go back to second, but Oklahoma doubles its lead, 2-0.
That's a really nice at-bat right there from LaChance. Gets down in the count, but still does his job. Gets the fly ball, gets the sacrifice fly, and some insurance, much needed on the board for OU.
So with the runner at first and 2 down, Willits will bat left-handed against the right-handed pitcher Duncan. And there's a throw to first to hold Brendan Brock close. How about Deshaun Harris? I mean, called upon to come off the bench and pitch hit, and he has scored another run here after the infield single. Another throw over to first.
And there's no question that just his speed, Chad, is what caused the throw to, not quite be on line.
Jackson Willits had a double back in the 7th inning. He's 1 for 3 tonight. This pitch he takes inside. That's a fastball. Two runs driven in for Dayton LeChance tonight. He's driven in 15 now, second most on this Sooner club. 1-0 pitch to Willits. Goes after that one. Breaking pitch down and in. And it's 1-1 on Jackson. Again, Brock is chased back in on that throw over. Two down, but a run home for the Sooners here in the 8th inning. 1-1 pitch to Jackson Willits. That one is blocked by the catcher, Bergholt. It was low and in also. Now 2 balls and a strike. Second baseman Grady is shifted around. Well, he's pretty much straight away second base as Willits slices one foul up onto the hill. That one over on the third base side. 2 balls, 2 strikes here to Jackson Willits. We'll see who the Sooners send back out there for the top of the 9th inning. We will see if maybe we see a second inning for Jason Bowden if he goes out to try to pick up a potential save. Oklahoma leads 2-0. Willits goes after that one. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Inning over. But an insurance run for Oklahoma as Dayton LeChance drives in his second run of the night. And Oklahoma carries a 2-0 lead over Dallas Baptist to the top of the 9th inning. This is Sooner Baseball from Learfield.
The big dance and big-time prizes are almost here from the home of Sooner fans. Mark your calendars on Monday, March 16th for the Refs' 25th annual 60-18 giveaway at the newly renovated Buffalo Wild Wings in Moore off 19th Street from noon to 7 for your chance to win with the big dance or one of our many instant prizes. The Refs' 25th annual 60-18 giveaway is brought to you by Riverwind Casino, Armstrong Bank, the Central Oklahoma Buick GMC dealers, Buffalo Wild Wings, Mitchell's Jewelry, First Liberty Bank, McIntyre Law, Fowler Automotive, Cavens Group, First United Bank, Signature Custom Pools, DM Wealth Management, Valiance Bank, Signature Pool and Patio, Great Nations Bank, and many more. That's the Refs' 25th annual 60-18 giveaway, presented by Riverwind Casino, the Central Oklahoma GMC dealers, and Buffalo Wild Wings on Monday, March 16th.
You might know that State Farm agent Cindy Nasher has great service. Cindy is your good neighbor after all. But did you know that State Farm has surprisingly great rates too? Yep, that's right. Along with good neighbor service, State Farm agent Cindy Nasher has surprisingly great rates for everyone in Norman. So call State Farm agent Cindy Nasher at 405-307-0500 for your surprisingly great rates today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements.
It's been a good one. Low-scoring, close game between Oklahoma and Dallas Baptist. The Patriots have won 4 straight in this series. And the Sooners have a 2-0 lead headed to the top of the 9th inning. We will see the 8th Oklahoma pitcher in 9 innings here. And it is Jackson Cleveland who's on in a save situation for him to try to close it out. Pitching's been brilliant for the Sooners. They have given just 2 hits to a DBU lineup that was batting .317 with 21 home runs coming in. And Oklahoma's pitching Jaden Barfield, Isaac Williams, Xander Mercurius, Reed Hensley, Michael Catalano, Gavin Jones, Jason Bowden, and now Jackson Cleveland. He'll have to get through the heart of the lineup, though. 3, 4, and 5 due up for the Patriots. We've got another CertaPro Painters pitching change. The professionals at CertaPro Painters can help you if you're looking to make a change at your home. They can help you with 15% off your interior or exterior painting project. Call 405-990-8521. Let Robert or Jonathan take care of you. Cleveland misses a little bit outside. He's been very good out of the bullpen this year. Senior from Deer Park, Texas, transfer from the University of Miami. And this is his 4th collegiate stop. His 1-0 pitch is hit foul right over top of the Oklahoma dugout on the third base side. Ben Tryon's 0 for 2. He walked back in the 4th. Patriots have had 7 base runners tonight. 2 hits. 1-1. Ground ball base hit. That's going to get on out into right center field for a base hit. Oklahoma's got Uriah Walters now playing out there at second base as Desan Harris pinch hit and scored a run. He's now playing right field. So it is Uriah Wallace playing second base for Kyle Branch, for whom Desan Harris pinch hit. Harris is now out in right field. So the tying run to the plate now. All of a sudden, Jayton Krause is the batter. First pitch, breaking pitch to him is in there for a called strike. Krause is 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts and a walk. Dangerous guy, veteran hitter, batting .320 with 4 homers. And the 1-0 fastball misses in.
Oklahoma defensively, Chad, has him shifted, trying to play him to pull it to the third base side of the second base bag.
This one hit in the air, right center field. Calling for it is Harris, who just came out there. He'll make the catch. 1 down. Back to first goes Ben Tryon. And the batter will be the shortstop, Dylan Cupp. This date in Oklahoma baseball history, presented by Cal. Sooners beat Little Rock 22-0. I think this says Craig Aiken had 6 hits, including a double and a home run, and drove in 6 runs. But I don't know. I don't read Cal's handwriting very well anymore.
Did you read it well at one point in time? It's always a little tricky.
It's a little unsteady. We're going to try to remedy that. First pitch is in there for a called strike to Dylan Cupp. He's the potential tying run. The 0-1. Fouled off. 0-2 the count. What a job by this Sooner pitching staff tonight. Dayton LaChance has provided the offense. And a lot to like about the pitching. Here's the 0-2. Fastball at 95, misses up and in. Jackson Cleveland began his career at North Central Texas College and then went to Lamar. Last couple of years at Miami and now a Sooner. And this one is hit in the air, foul. Wind's going to blow this one well out of play. A rare north wind tonight. And that one breezes out past the hill on the first base side, out of play. Count remains 1-2 on the shortstop, Dylan Cupp. Breaking pitch is low, blocked by Brendan Brock, and the count goes to 2-2. Two from Jackson Cleveland. Hit him on the left hand. And now the potential tying run is aboard. Or was it a foul ball? So the plate umpire, who is now John Perez, says that ball hit the bat handle, either the bat knob or the handle. And Dan Hefner is out asking for an explanation. So for now, the count's going to stay 2-2, but I bet they review this I have no idea how they could see that cleanly. And, Josh, we're looking at a replay here. It's almost impossible to tell.
Yeah, I'll get you another look. Here it comes right here. I mean, the way it, glanced off of there, I could see where it hit the bottom of the bat, but it's just tough to say.
So, remember, the original call was that it hit the knob of the bat for a foul ball. And so if they can't find indisputable evidence to overturn, that will be the call. Patriots have won 2 reviews tonight. They've had 2 calls reversed in their favor in this game. And we'll take a moment to remind you that the University of Oklahoma and Sooner Sports Properties would like to thank our concession partners, Dos Equis, Dickey's Barbecue Pit, Shakes Frozen Custard, Gin and Juice, Pizza Hut, HTO, Coop Ale Works, Kona Ice, and Rock and Roll Tequila.
The fans think they saw it hit the nub of the bat there. Hey,
well, that's good enough for me. The call stands.
That's right. Kimberly Family Stadium has spoken. The Sooner Sports Podcast, it's your all-access audio pass to Sooner Sports. Listen as Toby Rowland and Chris Plank talk all things Sooners. Log on to Soonersports.com/podcast or search Sooner Sports Podcast in your favorite podcast provider. The Sooner Sports Podcast presented by Allstate and by Riverwind Casino.
Speaking of Toby Rowland in the podcast, the voice of the Sooners, has joined us to watch the finale. And he just called an Oklahoma basketball win across the street over Missouri. Oklahoma softball a winner at North Texas tonight. But things getting a little precarious here. 1 out, top of the 9th inning. If the call stands, it'll be foul ball and another 2-2 pitch coming to Dylan Cupp. If hit by pitch is called, then things get really interesting because the potential tying run will be aboard with 1 away. And in the meantime, Jackson Cleveland is going to stay loose. We have a decision. We've got Seth Buckminster and Brandon Mizzen. It is a foul ball, and the count will be 2-2. That was a McIntyre Law review. McIntyre Law connect with their team of award-winning Oklahoma personal injury attorneys. And now Skip Johnson is out for a conversation with Jackson Cleveland. There's been activity out in the bullpen for some time. There's been activity, well, since I got here this afternoon in that bullpen. You know, they have the heating and cooling seats that they've brought in for the guys in the bullpen. They have a spot for your helmet. I wonder if baseball players would put their baseball cap on there. It's almost cool enough to turn those on, but I feel like their teammates would let them hear about it if they turn the heaters on.
Probably. It's got to be a group consensus out there to flip the heat on.
So Jackson Cleveland's going to continue. And a 2-2 count on Dylan Cupp. Landon Underhill, the center fielder, is on deck. Ben Tryon led off the inning with a base hit out into right field. He's the man at first. 2-0, Oklahoma leads it. There's a 2-2 pitch. Over but low. And a full count now to Dylan Cupp. Payoff pitch from Jackson Cleveland to Dylan Cupp, headed home. Ball 4 outside. So now the potential tying run is at first base, and the batter is going to be Landon Underhill, the center fielder. He is a left-handed batter, and he's 0 for 2. He was hit by a pitch back in the 3rd. Underhill, a .281 hitter out of Hurst, Texas. Spent 2 seasons at Mercer and then a year at McLennan Community College. First pitch to him. Rifles it foul out of play over the third base side. 0-1. These two teams are scheduled to meet again on April the 6th down at DBU. There is a strike pumped in there, 92 miles an hour, and it's 0-2. That'll be a fun one. DBU and OU. This has become such a good rivalry over the years. But the Sooners slated to go down there and play at Horner Ballpark. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Underhill. Strike 3 called. A fastball outside corner, 2 down. So the Patriots are down to their final outs, and the catcher, Adam Bergholtz, coming to the plate. He had one of the 3 DBU hits. He had a single back in the 3rd. Jackson Cleveland deals a fastball for a strike, a breaking pitch, beg your pardon, for a strike. Patriots had 2 men aboard in the 3rd, 2 men aboard in the 4th, and 2 men aboard in the 5th. Haven't scratched out anything. They've got 2 on here in the 9th. 0-1 from Cleveland, low and away. All 6 of those runners left stranded that I mentioned. Previously, 3 times the Patriots had 2 men on and left them. Cleveland's 1-1. Checked his swing, pitch a little high, and they appeal down to first base. Brandon Minson says no swing. So the count goes to 2-1 on Adam Bergholtz. Ben Tryon is the runner at second. Dylan Cupp is at first. Here's the 2-1. Fastball strike 2. Count is all square now with 2 men on and 2 men out. Sooners lead 2-0. Looking for the final out. Crowd rising to their feet at Kimry Family Stadium. Jackson Cleveland deals. Strike 3 swinging, and the Sooners win it. Jackson Cleveland strikes out 2 with the tying run aboard. And Oklahoma wins it 2-0 in a low-scoring affair at Kimry Family Stadium. Oklahoma improves to 11-2 on the season. Dallas Baptist falls to 8-5 as Oklahoma wins 2-0. We'll begin the Brahms postgame show in just a moment. This is Sooner Baseball from Learfield.
Power. It's more than what lights your home. It's what you do with it.